Welcome to FC Volendam in the Netherlands, playing in the Eredivisie, and this is going to be a Youth Development Challenge series. What is a Youth Development Challenge series? Well, basically, we've got a few rules to follow, and they all revolve around our youth setup. We need to make sure, obviously, that we are improving our youth setup as much as possible. But in order to do that, we need to be successful. Why do we want to make our youth setup as good as possible? We need to be getting through the best youth candidates possible as well. We have some rules in place that means we need to play a certain amount of players that have come through our youth intakes every single season. In Season 1, because we have not had a youth intake as of yet, we don't have to play anyone. We can just play Football Manager normally. In Season 2, we must play 2 players that have come through our youth intake in Season 1. So we better hope we get some good players through in Season 1. In Season 3, it is 3 players. Season 4, it is 4 players. Season 5, it is 5 players. Season 6 and onwards, it is still 5 players. Because basically, we'll get to a point where we'll just be playing lots and lots of children, and we might not even have good players in those positions, so we need to have a little bit of space to be able to kind of have a little bit of wiggle room as well. There is another couple of rules, though. I'm going to use Robin van Kruisen as an example. I don't even know whether that's how his name is said. He is 19 years of age. He's got 1 club, so technically he has come through our youth intake. He will be able to play for us as one of our locked-in players, assuming he came through our youth intake in-game. However, if he is 21 at the start of September, when the transfer window closes, I think it closes the 2nd of September every single season, we can't play him. So we must be playing 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 or 20-year-olds. If they are 21, they do not count towards our locked-in players. And using Robin as an example, how will I indicate what players have come through our youth intakes? What I will do is I will give them nicknames with a lovely little star at the front. I've also decided, I've done this in FM24, but I didn't do this. If I think they are going to be superstars or potentially the best of that intake, I will also put a lovely little plus there, which signifies to me that they are probably one of the better players to come through the intake. I can't do that for every single player. I can't say like 9 of these players are going to have like the pluses, but every single player that comes through the youth intake will be starred. Whether they even sign for us or not, they'll all be starred. And basically, we'll be able to track them if they turn good, if they sign for anyone else, if we've got any players that manage to get away from us as well. So the other thing we're going to do is we are not really going to control too much at all. I have basically said my assistant manager or director of football or anyone like that can do transfers all day long. They can do all the transfers. I'm not going to do transfers. My sole purpose is to pick the formation, to lock in the youth players and improve the youth facilities. So I've got to hope that my director of football doesn't sell our best youth prospects, which I'm almost certain will happen. As long as they get a good amount of money, it's not the end of the world. But we need to we can't control that. If we suddenly sell one of our youth players to I don't know, Man United for like £6 million or £3 million, we just have to suck it up and replace him. And obviously we need to replace him with a youth player from our youth intake. From a formation perspective, we're going to try out a 4-2-3-1 gegenpress mixed in with a 4-2-4 gegenpress out of possession. So in possession, it will be this. Out of possession, we'll actually push up to 2 strikers, which to me doesn't make sense, but I thought I'd give it a go. I've done no changes in any of the permissions. Instructions, that's what they're called. But we are going to go with this. Obviously, I'm not locking in anybody for this season, so we will clear the squad, and our assistant manager will basically do what he wants. So obviously, because we need to make sure that we are improving our youth facilities, this is our current status. So we have good youth facilities. We don't have a youth level. I've never seen a team with a youth level, so I don't know what that even means. Academy coaching is excellent, which is amazing. Our youth recruitment is above average, which is obviously not amazing, but we can kind of work on that. The final thing we're going to look at before we jump all the way forward to, I think, around April time, is that in the Eredivisie, when we have a look at the season preview, we are predicted to finish in 17th place. We've already set it very difficult for us to actually be able to stay in the league, let alone develop some good youth players. So we need to hope Season 1, we can just do a decent enough job. We're going to jump forward to around April time when our youth intake comes in. And obviously, I'll take you through some of the best players. And I think I might even lock in a player for the final, probably month and a half of the season as well. Because why not? It's now the 2nd of September. The transfer window has closed. And as I mentioned earlier, we have not done any transfers. However, I think some transfers have taken place. So 5 players seem to have joined on deadline day, all on free transfers. Nobody's left the club. I don't really know too much about any of these players. We have Sven Janssen as a 20-year-old attacking midfielder. Fair enough. I imagine these players were purchased because of the formation we've got. So they've gone and picked up players who can do a job for us. So we've got Hamdi Akujobi, could be his name in Nigeria. Where did he come from? What was his former team? Almere and Heerenveen, so fair enough. He's just spent a lot of time in the Netherlands. We've got Delano van der Heijden, could be his name. 20-year-old attacking midfielder, winger, striker kind of position. Fair enough. And Rida Chahid, a central midfielder, another 20-year-old. We seem to be buying lots of children, which is kind of a concern. Enrico Specksnyder could be his name. Again, another 20-year-old right winger this time around. It means that the squad looks fairly bloated. Oh, does it? It's actually only 24 people, so it's not that bloated. If we do best 11 and have a look at the tactics, that's not the tactics, that's the tactics. So this is what they're going to go with. Our entire back four are travelling for some reason. Trinidad and Tobago squad, Congo squad, Togo and Suriname. Fair enough. Our entire defence is off travelling the world. Fair enough. We've got... So it doesn't look horrendous, does it? If we actually do the combined view. So this is actually more likely the sort of, well, the average positions. Doesn't look awful. Obviously, come April, we're going to have a little 15 or 16-year-old turning up in this squad as well. I'm not too sure how good they're going to be. I imagine they're not going to be 3-star. We're probably going to have a 1.5-star player at best playing in our midfield or in our defence or as a winger. Probably not a goalkeeper. Obviously, the season has also kicked off. We've played 4 matches and we've actually started off pretty good. 6th place in the table, 2 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat. We have... That tells us nothing, right? Okay, fair enough. Fixture schedule. Let's jump to this one instead. So we have beaten Utrecht and NAC Breda, lost to PSV, which is understandable, and drew with Fortuna Sittard. So not a terrible start to the season. I imagine if we were to finish anywhere near where we currently are, would probably be a very successful season. I'm expecting sort of 8th to 13th. If we're in that sort of area, that would be good. Avoid a relegation scrap, sort of mid-table finish would be pretty good. Decent start to the season so far. 8 goals scored as well. Just ignore the fact that we let in 6. Something I didn't show you earlier, by the way, is our financial situation. It's not good. This is the reason why we haven't actually spent any money on players. We've got £55,000 worth of transfer budget and negative £2,000 a week of wage budget. We've got 2.7 million in the bank. Like I said, we're over our wage budget. Things aren't looking great. So actually, we kind of do want to have ourselves a really good youth intake in season 1, because it might mean we get an absolute legendary footballer who gets sold for like £30 million, hopefully with some decent clauses as well. Speaking of, I guess the next thing to do then is to jump to our first youth intake, see what type of players we manage to get. First of all, before we take a look at the youth candidates, we are still 6th place in the table. We are now on the 9th of April. The youth intake has literally just come in. This is our very first youth intake. And spoiler, it is a golden generation in season 1, which is absolutely amazing. But we are currently 6th place in the table. 14 wins, 7 draws, 7 defeats. Our form is draw central at the moment, but 14 wins is huge, right? We're actually only 9 points off the top of the table. I don't think we're going to finish there, but the fact that we are just 9 points off the table was pretty impressive. If we scroll down, there's not just 3 games left to play, right? There's more than 3 games. 17 times 2 is 34, right? So there's still 6 to go. But, I mean, we could finish in a European spot. It's unlikely. Anyway, the reason why we have stopped at this point is obviously the youth candidates, and you can see there 5 elite prospects. I've already gone through these and put my stars and my pluses next to the players who I think will be stars. And basically, we have got amazing, amazing players. And we are going to go through everyone who is a top prospect or above, and we're going to go in reverse order. So we're going to start at the bottom here with Narivio Eindhoven, who is a 16-year-old right winger. Doesn't look particularly anything special. 1-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability here. We've got an Austrian right back called Maiko Geller, 16 years of age. Obviously, right back position doesn't actually look awful. Mentally looks pretty good. Nice 17 determination there. 4-star potential on Maiko. On the opposite side, we have Mile Bilbija, could be his name, a 16-year-old Dutch left-back. Again, high determination, decent physicals, 1-star current ability, 4-star potential. Jaden Borsma is a 15-year-old central defender, 6'3", so he's a big lad, 1-star current, 4-star potential here. Doesn't look amazing, mentally not necessarily got the numbers where we want them, but he's still only 15. Dejavan Artist, maybe, could be his name, 16-year-old right-back and right wing-back. I don't know why, I quite like the look of him, but actually, technically, he's absolutely garbage. Physically, he's all right. Mentally, he's not amazing either. He's got decent bravery, 1-star current ability, 4.5-star potential, though. And the last of the top prospects is Sjord Madsen, a 15-year-old goalkeeper, 6'2". Hopefully, he can do a little bit of growing. 6 free kick taken on a goalkeeper. I do love a goalkeeper who can take a free kick. Doesn't mean he's going to, but I do love that they could. Nice determination. Mentally, not horrendous. Decisions of 12. I mean, work rate of 5, but he's a goalkeeper. Do we need them to work too much? You want them to work like for 5 minutes a game, right? Martson has 1-star current ability, 4-star potential. I can't imagine he's going to be one of those players that I'm locking in Season 2. But as we move forward, we do start to find some players who might get locked in for Season 2. Saif Ibrahim is a 16-year-old striker who has got 12 finishing, 14 first touch. Mentally, got some decent numbers. Maybe not amazing numbers, really. I mean, he's amazing for a 16-year-old. 5'9" striker. Physically looks pretty good. Mentally looks pretty good. Technically looks pretty good. But I don't think he's going to be getting locked in. Selçuk Deniz could be his name. Is next up, a 16-year-old Dutch defensive midfielder. 1.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. Mentally looks pretty good. Technically doesn't look amazing. Physically also doesn't look particularly good either. He's also 5'8", so he's not really going to be winning too many headers, should we put it that way, particularly with 3 heading. But he might have the mental numbers in some of the right places, so determination is good. Aggression of 12, maybe that could be a little bit higher. Work rate's pretty low as well. So Deniz might be good. I'm not convinced he's an elite prospect. We also have 15-year-old Turkish attacking midfielder Hasan Bulut, who I think he could be very, very good. 1.5-star current ability, 5-star potential for Bulut. I think his mental numbers are kind of dragging him through here with a determination and work rate being nice and high. Technically, he's not amazing, but he's got some good numbers. Obviously, 14 technique's pretty good. We've got to remember as well, the current ability and potential ability is based on our squad, not on world football. So 5-star potential for world football means he's going to turn into Messi. 5-star potential for us means he's going to turn into probably someone reasonably, not Messi, shall we say. I literally can't think of any equivalent of like a really good player in the Dutch division. My brain is just completely melted. But maybe we will have an example in a few years' time. We have Andrew Beekman. He is a 5'3" winger. He's still very, very little, but he's also only 15 years of age. He is obviously a winger on that left-hand side. 2-star current ability, 5-star potential. Mentally got some good numbers in good places. 14 determination, 14 work rate. I like physically also not horrendous. Natural fitness of 17 is good. Jumping reach of 1 and a height of 5'3". He may as well just not bother jumping at that point. Technically, looks all actually pretty good. And I think Beekman could be starting in Season 2. We do obviously need to play 2 players in Season 2. Beekman's probably going to be one of them, isn't he? And the other one could be a big risk because he's a centre-back, is Omar Mbinga, a 16-year-old Dutch central defender. He's 5'11", so not the biggest in the world, but he's only 16, so maybe there's a bit more growing he can do. Mentally, again, not amazing, but also not horrendous. Like 10's not the best. Obviously, you want to be seeing them at least sort of 14 kind of area would be pretty good, but he's got time to learn. He's got time to develop. I think Mbinga could be very good. 2-star current ability, 5-star potential there. We've got 5 elite prospects. Mbinga and Beekman are the 2 that I think we're going to lock in for Season 2. And as we mentioned earlier, I think we've got 6 games left to play. I'm going to lock in one player for those 6 as well. Assuming he signs his contract, that is going to be Andrew Beekman. Right now, he doesn't have a contract, so he's technically not going to play. So he might play 5 games between now and the end of the season. But yeah, Beekman will be playing on that left-hand side. And obviously, most likely for Season 2, we'll keep Beekman. And I think we'll go with a central defender as well. Let's jump forward then to the end of the season, see how will we do with our FC Volendam squad, and obviously we'll have a look as well to see how good Beekman has done. Well, in the league, we did actually finish in 6th place, and it looks like on the final game of the season, we jumped over Utrecht and NEC, so we could have finished in 8th place, and I think that meant we went into a European Places playoff, where we lost to Excelsior in the semi-final. Cool. So we could have got ourselves some European football if we weren't just utter garbage and lost at literally the first knockout game. Obviously, just in case you didn't get a full look of the table there, Ajax winning the league, then Go Ahead Eagles and Feyenoord in 2nd. Go Ahead Eagles, I feel like they should not be finishing that high. Fair play to them, they have obviously managed to do that, but we have done pretty good in Season 1. Financially, I do want to check to see where we are. We've got 4.7 million, so it's not a massive amount of money. I can't imagine the board are going to be willing to spend most of that, basically improving our training facilities and such. So we're not even going to bother trying for Season 1. I will take a very quick look to see how good Iceman actually managed to do. It's not Iceman, this is Beekman. How did he do in his first few games? He did play 6. He scored and got an assist. Can we see the goal that he scored? Can we actually just have a look at the goal? Is this possible? Oh, I think it is. I have noticed as well he is now 16, so I don't know what his date of birth is, but he was literally 15, I think, when he came through the youth intake. He's now 16. And straight from kickoff, from, I assume, the Telstar goal by the looks of it, Beekman has the ball on this left-hand side. Please tell me he just runs through everybody. He doesn't. Okay, so Leandal in the middle to Akajobi. Beekman once again. He's definitely getting involved for a 16-year-old. He's getting very much on the ball. Because of FM26, sometimes these highlights seem to take absolutely forever. So we're going to probably jump forward to nearer the goal, I assume. We're still passing it around edge of the penalty area. We've got a little bit closer. Scott plays the ball through. Andrew Beekman is in on goal, and the youngster gets his first ever goal in the 16th minute against Telstar in what would eventually be a 3-1 win, I believe. Nope, it was a 2-1 defeat. But, he scored. So season 1 is complete. We have our first youth intake and it is a golden generation. Andrew Beekman has already hit the ground running as well, scoring a goal in one of his first 6 appearances for the club. Season 2 is just around the corner where we'll have to lock in 2 players into this FC Volendam squad. And obviously we'll have ourselves another youth intake coming through in April where hopefully we get ourselves another golden generation. Probably asking a bit too much. It's season 2 of our youth development challenge with FC Volendam in the Netherlands in the Eredivisie. Season 1 ended pretty well. We finished in the top 6. We didn't qualify for Europe because we lost to Excelsior after extra time in the semi-final of the little European playoff thing. But obviously we had ourselves our youth intake in season 1. And if we go over here, we can see a couple of players here. Omar Mbinga being one of those players to come through. And I've put a lovely little plus sign against him because I think he could be a very good footballer. He is 2-star current ability at the moment. Being season 2, we have ourselves a new rule. I say new rule, it's the same rule that we had in season 1, but it is increased because it is now season 2. It means we have to lock in 2 players who have come through our youth intakes into our first team squad. And if we had a look at our tactics so far, we have Andrew Beekman currently locked in on that left-hand side, and we have to pick another player to get put into this squad. We don't have to pick him until technically the 1st of September, or when the transfer window closes, which is the 2nd of September. But we obviously need to make sure they're under 21 years of age as well at that point. Shouldn't be a problem. We've only had 1 youth intake. The oldest is going to be 17. Something I completely forgot last season as well, we are not in charge of transfers. I have got my director of football in charge of transfers. I did say at the start of last season, these were the players that have come in. But also it appears we did lose a couple of players, or one player actually on a permanent deal. So Silvinho Esajas has actually signed for Auckland FC. He went on loan there apparently. I didn't do anything to do with that, but that's a thing that happened. Can we have a look at released players as well? Anyone that has been released recently. So we've got rid of no one of interest, I imagine. They've got 0 appearances, and none of them actually played for us last season. Right, let's jump forward then to the end of the transfer window, see what our director of football has managed to do with our transfers, and we will obviously lock in player number 2 for season 2 in charge of FC Volendam. Before we talk about the players that are locked in for Season 2, we've obviously kicked off the season with 2 wins and 2 defeats to our name. So a positive 6 goals scored, but 8 goals conceded. So our defeats have not been good defeats. Can we actually have a look? So we have beaten NEC and De Graafschap, could be their name, 3-2 both times, but lost to AZ and Ajax 2-0. It's also nice to see that a certain Andrew Beekman has scored twice against De Graafschap. Did he score against NEC as well? He didn't. Julian Rykov did score a hat-trick, however. The eagle-eyed of you will have spotted who our second player is. And to be honest, if you watched Season 1, you would have also spotted who our second player is, because it is the other star player, or the player that I considered to be the best of those players that came through last season. It is Omar Mbinga as that central defender. 5'11" centre-back, already looking like he's improving, which is nice to see. We are obviously going to be playing him on that left-hand side, because I don't think he's a ball... Is that a ball-playing centre-back? I assume is what that is. Yeah, I don't think he can do that role, but he can be a centre-back twice. We've also got Andrew Beekman still on that left-hand side. Not really improving a huge amount. His jumping reach has gone up to 3. I'm pretty sure that was 1 when he joined. Why are you training this? Train getting taller, which, from my experience, is not a possible thing to do. Although maybe at 16 it might still be possible. I think he has grown an inch, actually. Pretty sure he was 5'3". Now he's 5'4". Anyway, these are the 2 players that we're going to lock in for Season 2 for FC Volendam. We need to make sure that we just don't get relegated. I imagine, I haven't actually checked this, but I imagine we're expected to be in a relegation scrap. We're not. 12th place. They think 12th place. I mean, arguably, still not good. It's kind of mid-table area, which I'm okay with mid-table. Mid-table is absolutely fine. I have just seen here that we seem to have done some transfers as well. So let's double check what transfers have taken place. We've loaned in 5 people from Club Bruges. Fair enough. Let's jump back, actually, because there's probably a few here as well. So this was last season. We have got Mikey Howart, who is a 20-year-old striker and is wanted, probably on loan by somebody, Helmand Sport. Fair enough. I mean, I don't know why we're getting players in who are youngsters. We don't need to be doing that. Robin Shelton is a 28-year-old right-back. You'll probably get a fair amount of game time. Fair enough. I think we paid money for him by the looks of it. £300,000. Too much money. We have Julian Rykov as a striker on loan from Ajax. Is he going to play? He's so far played 4 and scored 4. So, yeah, of course he's going to play. He was the one who scored the hat-trick. We have got 4 players on loan from Club Brugge. We have got Diakon. We have got Stan Neert. All of these are youngsters. Why are we loaning in, like, literal children, 18 years of age? Probably not good enough to play for us. But there we are. We're loaning all these people in from Club Brugge. 22-year-old, he might get some game time. And we also have Davy Hendricks, signed from VVV on a free transfer, who is also not very good. My director of football, I don't think is good at his job. We've also sold a couple of people, so let's have a quick look. We have got Amavor, has gone to NEC on a free transfer. He's a player that I really bought on one of the really old football managers, possibly from like Dordrecht, maybe even Go Ahead Eagles. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've bought him before for, I'm going to say Notts County of all teams. We have also got Kuas going off to Turkey. I mean, he's 33. I would have sold him anyway. Probably would have sold him last year if I was in charge of transfers. We also have Hazir going out on loan. We've got Codinha going to York United in Canada. He is also a Canadian, so that makes a little bit more sense. And for £300,000, Sven Janssen has gone to Vitesse. Probably wouldn't have sold him if I was actually in charge of transfers. But there we are. So that's where we are then at the start of September. We want to do quite well in the league. We're not really in control of it right now. We need to start getting some decent youth players through. We just need to do all right. Like the league performance and league forms and stuff like that doesn't really matter. As long as we keep our job, this entire save is all about getting these players through. And hold on. At first look, this appears to be a terrific group of players and has the potential to be a real golden generation. Have we got a second golden generation coming through? I mean, it doesn't look like it. Everyone's a D. But, okay, we'll have to find out. We are now going to jump forward then to early April, I assume, and we'll have our second youth intake. So it's the 12th of April. The youth intake is in, and we are currently sat 13th place in the table. It's not as good as last season. Obviously, 33 points on the board, but a couple of wins could actually propel us all the way up to 7th. So we are stuck in this sort of mid-table mess. We don't want to drop too far down. I think we are arguably too far away from the relegation scrap to be kind of dragged into it, but we're also too far away from the European battle to be dragged into that as well. I think Season 2 is going to end in mid-table mediocrity. I want to double-check before we have a look at our youth players. Spoiler alert, you can see 2 of them there that have come through. How good is Bikeman getting on? He has got 6 goals, 4 assists. We seem to be doing all right in the Cup. We've played 4 games in the Cup. Are we still in that? I don't know. But he's still only 16 years of age, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential, valued at potentially £21 million now. And also Omar Mbinga, now 17. He's valued at 6.6 to 10 million, 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. He seems to be improving, right? Or am I just thinking he's improving? He's also scored his first goal. We're not going to try and find that. Scored in the Cup and also has himself an assist. So far, the 2 players that we've locked in look like they're doing pretty good. We are now going to take a look at the youth intake. And we've got 4 elite prospects. So, what have we got? 4 players. We've got Hendricks, we've got Lundqvist, we've got Thomason, and we've got Akin. We've also got some players further down the list here. We are going to not look at everybody. I think we're going to go for the top prospect and up. So, Bruce Reed, first up, is a 2-star current ability New Zealand left winger. The potential only being 3.5-star does not fill me with too much joy there. Dylan Larman is also a left winger, so a position that we don't really need, although we do kind of play that, I think, where we've got an attacking midfielder that drops back to a more left midfielder. 1-star current ability, 4-star potential for Larman. Driven Landfeld is an amazing name. 1-star current ability, 3.5-star potential right back. He's nothing special, is he? I mean, I look at the mental numbers, and if the mental numbers don't stand out to me, I don't get too excited. He's not standing out. The bravery's good, the work rate's good, everything else is meh. Nathan Hui is a 15-year-old striker. 14 finishing is good, but everything else is not particularly amazing. Teamwork of 17 is pretty good. 1-star current ability, 3.5-star potential, so not going to be setting the world on fire. We'll need, obviously, a lot of time to develop, and basically, we're not going to give him that. We've got ourselves a South African left back called Christopher Mlotshwa. Could be his name. Physically looks pretty good. Mentally and technically doesn't look amazing. Doesn't look awful. Like, the numbers are a little bit misleading because they're not yellow or green, but they're close. Sort of the 8s, 9s are only 1 or 2 points away from getting into that yellow territory. So once those bump up a little bit, he might look a bit better. 1-star current ability, 4.5-star potential there. We are still in the top prospects. We've not moved into the elite just yet. Colin van Bergen is a Serbian, and I'm going to assume Dutch defensive midfielder. He's all right. Again, much like the last guy, he's got lots of 10s, 8s, 9s and 10s, which bump them up by a couple of points, and all of a sudden he starts looking like a really good footballer. I don't think this one's terrible. 1-star current ability, 4.5-star potential, is only 15 as well. And we also have ourselves another goalkeeper. We got one last season, we've got one this season as well. It is an Icelandic man called Stefan Bukaret, probably half Dutch as well. Or maybe Belgian, I don't know why, but I'm thinking he's Belgian. Nope, he's Dutch, fair enough. He looks good, actually. I quite like the look of him. He's 6'3", he's a big lad, 7 technique, so maybe not so much as a ball-playing goalkeeper, but some decent numbers. Does like to punch things, though. Moving into the elite talents then, Ahmet Akin, a 15-year-old Dutch central midfielder, defensive midfielder, maybe left midfielder if we really want him to be. I'm not too sold. He's got decent mental numbers. I mean, I know he's better than the previous players, but as an elite player, I'm not too sold that he's going to be world-class. He does have 5-star potential. He's got mental numbers that are good. Physically, not amazing. Technically, he's all right. He could be okay. We also have Gerald Hendricks, 15-year-old striker, 5'11", so not massive, but also bigger than me. Mentally looks really good. 16 work rate, I love that. 13 determination, also pretty good as well. The anticipation, I like the look of that. It's still not amazing, but it's kind of on the way up. First touch and finishing also reasonably good. Gerald could be pretty good. He's also pretty good now, which is a worry, because sometimes this might be as good as he ever gets. And the two players that I have put the extra little plus sign against are Garda Thomason, a 16-year-old Icelandic central defender who mentally looks amazing already. His work rate is horrendous, but it's fine. He's 6'5" with 18 jumping reach and 11 heading. If I could work out how to do corners, Thomason will score 30 goals a season from centre-back. 17 aggression, 18 bravery. I think Thomason might be getting locked in for season 3 at this rate. Or it could be Christian Lundqvist, who I think is not as good as a footballer. The problem is we already have a young central defender locked in, and I don't think we want to put 2 of them in for season 3. We might need to, you never know. But Christian Lundqvist is a 15-year-old Danish central midfielder, attacking midfielder. The problem is we don't play that role. Physically looks pretty good mentally, and technically not amazing, but 2-star current ability, 5-star potential. Christian could be that guy. Obviously, we don't need to decide this yet, but effectively we have, if we look here, no, we can't look there. We have to go to the first team squad, which is that one. I have put Thomason and Lundqvist in the first team squad. I think we either go with that one there, or we go with that one there. And I think Lundqvist might be a better option, just because do we want Mbinga and Thomason in defence? A 17-year-old and a 16-year-old in season 3? Could be a massive risk. Anyway, we've got 6 games left of the season to go. It's probably not going to mean a huge amount regardless of where we finish. So we are now going to jump to the end of the season just to see what happens and obviously see how well our 2 locked-in players can do. I can see Omar's got a goal there, which is nice. And Bikeman, has got a goal against Go Ahead Eagles. Well, we finished in possibly one of the worst positions that we could have finished in. We finished in 14th place because the last few results of our season were absolutely horrific. We were 1 point ahead of going into the relegation playoff thing, which De Graafschap seemed to have fallen into. Did we even go into that? We didn't. So, I'm assuming that's the final. So, De Graafschap lost to Camber, which means Camber got promoted. Just seen this is an absolute nightmare, right? So, all of these teams, 6 teams enter the playoffs for 1 playoff position. That's a lot of teams. And they still have to play a team from the top division as well. But yeah, it's not been the most successful season on the pitch. Just the 45 goals scored this time around last season. Can we even see what happened last season? Last season we got 67, conceded 44. We're kind of the other way round, I think, aren't we? If we have a look. So we are, yeah, we're literally the other way round. We swapped goals and conceded. Maybe playing a young central defender might not have been the best idea. Speaking of the young central defender, he managed to play 38 games, scoring 1 goal, getting 1 assist. I swear he scored another goal. Or was that goal actually just in the cup? It was against Heerenveen in the cup, I imagine. Fair enough. So, we have got ourselves old Omar and Binga. He's improving. He's getting better. 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential still, 6.2 to 9.4. So his value technically dropped, I think. But he has played now a full season of Eredivisie football, and he's probably going to play next year as well. And old Andy Bikeman here, that's right, old Andy Bikeman, because he is 17 years of age and he's just a senior citizen at this point, appears to have stopped growing, so he is 5'4", but he is on the up. Lots and lots of arrows making their way upwards, which is good. He scored 7 goals in all competitions, 6 assists as well. Didn't play every game, so I imagine he picked up a reasonable injury, meaning he missed, 7 matches of the season. Not the end of the world. He's done all right. I do also need to double check because I forget that this is a thing. We don't control our transfers. So did anything happen during the January transfer window? Yes, it did. We loaned out a couple of people. Fair enough. And Enzo Pestana went to FC Twente, apparently. Fair enough. So season 2 on the pitch was not the best. But season 2 off the pitch, I think we've got ourselves 2 really good youngsters ready for season 3. Obviously, season 3 in our Youth Development Challenge means we'll have to lock in 3 players into our starting 11. And it is starting to get a little bit ropey because we didn't do particularly well this season. If we don't do well in season 3, we might even get sacked. I don't know what happens if I get sacked. It's now season 3 of our Youth Development Challenge with FC Volendam in the Netherlands. Obviously, in season 3, we have to lock in 3 players who have come through our youth intake in the last few years, couple of years, I guess, technically, the last 2 years. And we need to make sure that they play as many games as possible this season. This is how our league finished last time around. And we were almost relegated. We were 1 point off of the relegation playoff, which was De Graafschap, with the team that fell into that, and they actually managed to get themselves relegated down to the 2nd division of the Netherlands. We don't want to do that. The problem is, last season we played 2 youth players. We've now got to play 3. And just to put it into context, we have 4 good players, I think. We've got some other players down in the B team in the under-19s, but these are the 4 so far that I think might be the best ones. And we need to pick a 3rd one of these. On paper, Gardar Thomason, I think, is the better player. He is 2.5-star current ability at 16 years of age already. The problem is, he is a central defender, and we are already playing Omar Mbinga, who is a central defender who's also pretty good at football, and he's only 17 as well. We have also got Christian Lundqvist, who is a 15-year-old central midfielder from Denmark. The problem is with him, he's 15, and we don't really play a central midfielder. Because this is our formation. In possession, we play defensive midfielders and a shadow striker. And out of possession, we play defensive midfielders. And the shadow striker moves up to be a striker. He doesn't fit in any of these roles. He might need to be retrained to be like a striker or a defence midfielder. I don't know what's going to happen yet. Obviously, it is the 1st of July. The transfer window has opened. We are not in control of transfers. The only thing that we really do for this FC Volendam side is we pick the players that get locked into the starting 11. And I guess pick the tactic as well. But we're not going to be changing the tactic. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. And because we don't control the transfers, we have already done a few bits of business. Luca van der Velden has joined. He's a 20-year-old left winger that we don't need. We've got Oscar Zawada signing from FC Groningen, a very good-looking striker, actually, so he might get some game time next season, or this season, I guess. And Jup Ten Nepal from FC Emmen, who is, again, another youngster, a striker. Why is my director of football buying lots of children? Kind of annoying. We've also sold a few people as well, so it is going to be from... Have we sold anyone? We've sold one man at the moment. It is Jesper Tielemans, 21-year-old Netherlands striker. He has moved to NEC and moved straight to their reserves, apparently. One of the key things as well for this Youth Development Challenge is obviously making sure our facilities are as good as possible. I keep asking the board to improve things, and right now, they've not really done anything. If we actually go to board, I believe is the one we want to go for, they're building a new stadium? I didn't ask them to do that. That's not a thing I asked them to do. What I have asked them to do is do things like the youth facilities and the junior coaching and the youth recruitment. I've asked them to do that, not the stadium. Kind of annoying that they might be building a new stadium. We don't need one, right? We are in a 6,800 capacity stadium. Maybe we do need a new stadium. Anyway then, I guess the next thing we need to do is jump to the end of the transfer window where we have to lock in our 3rd player of the season. I will have a long think about who it is going to be, and we might even drop down to our under-19s and pick one of those ones. One of the players who I didn't think would be amazing, but it might be better for like a squad balance perspective for season 3. So let's jump forward, see what transfer business happens, and pick our 3rd player. I'm not going to go through all of the transfers that have taken place, but this is the biggest one so far. I say so far, the window is closed. It is Xavier Mumbayamba. He has moved over to FC Utrecht for just £2 million. He played every game for the last 3 seasons. and we've sold him. In fact, yeah, I mean, we weren't technically here at that point, but we've sold him for £2 million. It's not ideal, is it? He's a good player. We've also sold this man to Vitesse, which, yeah, fine, do what you want with him. We've also got a couple of people joining the club. We have Utaku Kurtal, who has come in on loan from Club Bruges. We have Sam, I'm not even going to say his last name, this name can't be real. He can't be a real man who has come in on loan from Ajax, who is a defensive midfielder. I quite like him. I can't say his name, especially on a YouTube video. And we've also got Dion van Zanten, who has signed on a permanent deal from FC Dordrecht, who's actually a pretty good striker. We don't need him. We don't need another striker. Well, I guess the answer to the question of who is our third player has been answered. We are going with 2 central defenders. We are going to go with Garner Thomason as that central defender. It is a big, big risk, but he is good. He is actually pretty good. He's already played 4 times so far. He's actually been locked in since the start of the season because I thought if we're going to do it, let's do it from day one. The 6'5" Icelandic man has, he's okay. I'm quietly confident. We've also got Omar Mbinga playing alongside him, who is just really good. And I'm worried that Omar Mbinga might not be here much past his 18th or 19th birthday. And we still have Andrew Beekman, who came through our first youth intake and actually played a few games in Season 1. He's all right. He's not amazing, is he? He's still only 17. That's the thing. He's been playing for 2.5 years at this point, and he's still only 17 years of age. He's also still only 5'4". I think he's done with his growing. So that is what we are locking in for the season. What does it mean, though, when it comes to our fixtures, if I can find where our fixtures are? Here we are. That's where our fixtures are. The season has started off not good. Not good at all. We have lost to SC Canberra 2-1. We have lost to PEC as well. In fact, Garner Thomason scored the not the opening goal of the game, but the second goal of the game. His first goal for the club. We lost to Zwolle 4-0. Not a good performance there either. We lost 2-1 to AZ Alkmaar, a match that I would have probably thought, yeah, we can probably lose that one. But we did beat Sparta Rotterdam. It was an Oscar Zawada penalty and a Yannick Lelandal goal in the 84th minute. It means the Eredivisie doesn't look particularly good at the moment for us. So actually, if we look at this, we're 17th in the table. We are only ahead of NAC Breda because they have not won a single game and we have won 1 game. We need to turn things around, obviously. I don't have a plan, by the way, if we get sacked. If we get sacked, we might just finish at Season 3. The plan is to go to 10, but we might finish at Season 3. I have also seen that we are building a new stadium. Or is this, I don't know whether this is we're building a new stadium or whether they are now looking for a suitable site. So the first bit they were there going, should we do it? Now they've gone, yeah, good idea. Where should we do it? There's no message at all, by the way. There's no email or anything to say about stadiums. So I have no idea what's going on. It's not up to me. Well, let's jump forward then to the next youth intake. Obviously, a transfer window will have opened and will have closed, so we will need to make sure that we double check to see whether we have lost any players and brought in anybody good, hopefully. Our youth intake is the 11th of April, apparently, so we'll probably come back around then, shall we? The first thing I'm going to do before we take a look at the league, and obviously the more important thing of our youth players, which, by the way, they're very, very good this season. I'm going to take a look at the players who have left the club, joined the club in January, that kind of thing. So Kane van Uvelen could be his name. A 24-year-old goalkeeper has moved over to Saudi Arabia for hopefully a lot of money. It's £2.3 million. He was playing fairly consistently. That's a worry, right? We've just sold our number 1 goalkeeper. The question is, have we bought a replacement? Well, we've signed a 20-year-old Dutch right-back called Kino Kuipers. So, he's not the replacement. He's also not very good. We have also signed this man, Rui Mendes, who is a right winger from Portugal. He doesn't look terrible, does he? We've also got Axel de Kort on loan from Club Bruges, who is a goalkeeper. Is he our new number 1 goalkeeper? He's played 10 times already in the Eredivisie. I guess that would make sense because he signed in January and it's now April. So, yeah, Axel de Kort is the number 1 goalkeeper for the season. He's alright. He's not... I mean, we could have done better. We could have done a hell of a lot worse. We also have this man on loan from Go Ahead Eagles. So Asker Aldegaard is signed on a loan deal until the end of the season. And we've also got Jari Hosten, who is signed on a free transfer, who's another youngster who's absolutely useless. And I don't know why we keep doing it. There's also another player leaving on a permanent deal. So David Eastman, the Ghanaian left-back, has moved over to Vitesse for a small amount of money. What's happened with the league first before we take a look at our youth players? Things have been turned around. Not quite sure how. I'm hoping it's just like a blip at the start of the season and we've just sort of got past that little blip. We've worked out how to play football with our 3 new-gen players in the squad and we're starting to do all right. I guess a key point for us is our goals against, which is 47. It is quite high. Because we've got 2 young goalkeepers, young central defenders, I'm not surprised it's that high. hopefully they can start getting better and improving, and then that number's going to start to drop, and we might even climb up the table a little bit more. We're actually the best of the rest, right? We're on 40 points, 9 points away from 6th place. We're actually probably just as close to, we're as close to 14th as we are to 6th. So, yeah, we are the best of the rest, which is fine. It's much better than nearly getting relegated like we happened last season. So I think this is what you would describe as a golden generation. This is the class of 28. We might have to kind of tagline it that, and maybe they might buy Salford City or something, I don't know. But the class of 28 from FC Volendam, I have put pluses against 3 players. I'm pretty sure in Season 1, I said I want to only do 2. I've done it against 3 because I think we've got some really good footballers coming through. We've also got some good top prospects. We've got some good prospects as well, and one decent prospect who, we don't care for. So we're going to start from the top prospects. We've got a Bulgarian right-winger called Ventislav Stanchev, 15 years of age, doesn't look anything special. He has got 4-star potential, but obviously nowhere near the quality at the moment. Not too convinced by him. Sticking with the theme of players who I'm not too convinced with, and also players who aren't from the Netherlands, we have Christian Nekulai could be his name, 16-year-old Romanian defensive midfielder, 1-star current ability, 4-star potential, low determination of a personality. I don't think you're really going to make it, bud. It's more players who aren't from the Netherlands. It's Adrian Fernandez, who also doesn't sound like he's from Belgium either, but he's a 15-year-old Belgian striker with amazing first touch and finishing, and not much else. Low determination once again. We might need to have a look at our head of youth development, because I'm wondering whether our head of youth development is affecting some of these stats, particularly the mental numbers. He does have 4.5-star potential though, so I don't know where they're getting that from. I'm not really seeing it. And the final top prospect, who is also not from the Netherlands, is Christopher Povelsen, could be his name, a 15-year-old Danish left-backy playmaking wing-back, apparently, whatever that is. He, however, unlike the other 3 players we've just had a look at, he's really good mentally and not so good technically or physically. I think Povelsen could be good. Okay, I think Povelsen, of those 4 that we've just seen, he is quite clearly the best one of them. The mental numbers, 18 determination, 17 teamwork, 14 work rate. That could be good enough to just get you through a few matches, regardless of how poor you are physically and technically. So Povelsen's one to keep an eye on. And now we have got the 6 elite prospects. Now in my head, I don't know if you know this, you probably do know this, but obviously with Football Manager having a potential of up to 200, these are players with 150 plus potential in my head. I don't think they've all got it. I certainly think there are a few that might have 150 plus potential. So we are going to work our way through the players who haven't got a plus against them first. We have Servaterio de Moes, could be his name. He's 15-year-old Netherlands central defender, 1.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. Looks very good to me. He does have some low determination, which is a concern. He's got high teamwork and high work rate, so maybe a bit of mentoring to de Moes might get him a little bit better. But I think he could be good. I certainly don't think he's one of the best ones. In fact, he's probably one of the worst ones out of the 6. Next up is Hans Priem. Again, could be his name. I'm going to say this after every player, Ronnie. Could be his name. It is a 15-year-old Netherlands left winger, maybe a right winger as well if he fancies it. He looks alright. He doesn't look anything particularly special. 1-star current ability, 5-star potential. However, mentally reasonable, I think is the way to put it. By reasonable, he's not reasonable at all. He's got determination of 13. Mentally, he's awful. Physically, reasonable. Technically, meh. I mean, Priem, maybe there's something there. Maybe the determination could kind of drag you through. You are fairly ambitious as well, which I think I don't know. I don't understand personalities in Football Manager or in real life, to be honest. But I think fairly ambitious might mean that he's going to be kind of wanting to improve and wanting to get better because he wants to be able to sign for big clubs, win competitions, things like that. Hopefully that's what it means. And the final player who is just a star and not a plus star is Hisham Riziki, a 16-year-old Dutch central defender who has a 1.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. He looks pretty average, which is fine. I think being pretty average is actually quite good because if all of his numbers go up at a similar steady rate, he could turn into a really good player. His personality of low self-belief, not good. I assume is not good, but he's alright. He's got some reasonable numbers. Certainly needs a bit more time to develop, does Riziki. And then moving into the players that we have added a plus next to. I've done 3 because basically Yannick Fij, could be his name, the 15-year-old Netherlands goalkeeper. I didn't want to put a plus next to his name, and I went, no, I do want to, because I think of all of the goalkeepers we've had for our youth intakes, you are the best goalkeeper that we have had. So I want to kind of keep track of you, because what normally happens is he'll go in the under-19s, and I'll forget he exists, and then he'll just leave. So if I put a plus next to him, I'll remember, keep an eye on this guy. So Yannick Fij is a 15-year-old goalkeeper. He's 6'4". He's a big lad for a 15-year-old. He's got natural fitness, which is a good thing for a goalkeeper. I don't know. Jumping reach, nice and high. Determination's good. Decisions are good. Handling is pretty good. Reflexes are good as well. I think Yannick could probably do a job for us now. And considering we sold our number one goalkeeper in January, Yannick might be our number one goalkeeper in Season 4. Please convince me that's a terrible idea. Next up is Slovenian defender Davor Kolaric, 16 years of age. He has got 2-star current ability and obviously 5-star potential. He's a big lad at 6'3". Mentally got some numbers in some good places. Maybe not the best numbers, but lots of 9s, 8s, 10s, 8s, 10s, kind of all over the place. So bump them up by a couple of numbers and all of a sudden he's going to look very yellow or orange, I guess is the colour. Maybe even the positioning work rate could even get into the sort of the green territory physically as well. Similar situation with lots of numbers in the yellows, which could move to the greens technically. Not amazing, but he's a centre-back. I don't really need him to be Leo Messi playing as a centre-back. I need you to be able to tackle and header. You're not good at either of them really, but you are also 16, so there is definitely time to grow. And finally we have Kenzo Broussard, who is a 15-year-old Netherlands right-back. And he, I think, might be the best one of the lot, but I don't really know why. Let me try and explain. When I say the best, I don't mean the best potential or anything like that, but the best one who might get an opportunity in Season 4. Because he's a right-back. Right-backs and left-backs are quite difficult, I find, to get through youth intakes. They normally come through as a centre-back who can play as a right-back, or a left-winger who can play as a left-back, and stuff like that. Whereas he's a right-back. That's his job. He's learned to be a right-back for the last 14 years of his life. He started playing football when he was 1, just in case you weren't aware. But Kenzo, I think, could get some game time for us. Technically, not amazing, but 7s, 8s, 9s, 11, 12, reasonable across the board. Mentally, I think those numbers are good, right? Aggression, bravery, decisions, determination, and work rate all in the yellow. Teamwork, not too far off. Leadership and flair as well, not too far off. Which, flair, I always wonder, do you want that good? I think you do want good flair in a right back because it means you might be able to do some like mazy little runs down the right wing, get past some players, and physically as well, looks pretty good. Nothing amazing, nothing like outstanding and exceptional, but I think Kenzo might be playing in Season 4. So that is our youth intake for Season 3, and I am very, very happy with what we have got. What I'm not happy with, however, is the fact that all of our players who we've got in the first team are currently out injured. So Omar Mbinga is out for 3 to 7 weeks. We have got Lundqvist, who's out for 9 days to 3 weeks. We've got Thomason, who's out for 5 days to 2 weeks. And we've got Andrew Bigman, who's out for another 8 days to 2 weeks as well. He's been out for a while, I think. So he's only played 27, or maybe he's not been out for too long. It looks like Zawada's played 30, so we've played 30 games. So basically, Mbinga and Thomason have missed a game each. Beekman has missed 3, sorry. And Lundqvist has come off the bench once. Fair enough. Good job, bud. I just kind of ignore this competition, by the way, because I'm not expecting to do any good in it. In the FA Cup, or the KNVB Beker, not quite sure how it is called, we got knocked out really early on, like in the first round, I think it was, to FC Den Bosch by the team in the second division. So, yeah, there's that. It's not a competition that I really care for. And like I said, I don't think we're going to win it. If we do, that's nice. If we don't, sure. This is where I check here, and it's like, we did actually win it last year, and I just was completely oblivious to the fact that we did it. I mean, good news is we didn't, and we didn't get to the final. Also, the build new stadium thing is still in progress. We've got 3 months. Completed in 3 months. Does that mean in 3 months we have a new stadium? I have no idea. But we are going to forward on to the end of the season, which is not 3 months, I don't think. It might be after that, actually, so we might be okay. So, yeah, we will forward on to the end of the season and see what has happened. Well, from a league table perspective, we finished in the middle, 10th place, just slightly below the middle, but we finished in 10th place, 44 points on the board, which means since we were last here, we've picked up 4 points. I don't think actually too many games have been played. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 games have been played. We lost against Go Ahead Eagles AZ Utrecht. We drew with Sparta Rotterdam and we beat Willem II. Willem II, who were 12th. Okay, I thought they were going to have got relegated. Apparently not. From a squad perspective, you can see here I have now pushed up all of the new youngsters into the first team. So basically anyone who has the plus next to them, I will put into the first team so I don't lose track of them. But anyone who doesn't is probably still knocking about in the under 18. So we can actually see here, we have all of this, which is players who have come through youth intakes, who might be quite good. Some of them might be absolutely terrible, but they are obviously knocking about in the under 18s. We've got a whole bunch of other players. Our under 18s, by the way, is massive. I don't think too many of them made it into the B team. Probably should rectify that, right? So anyway, from the players who have got stars next to their name, I'm going to see who has played what. So Omar Mbinga, 33 games, just 1 assist, lots of downward arrows, not really good, but that might just be because it's the end of the season, and he's basically ate a lot of cakes and stuff like that, and he's just having a bit of a relax because he's had a busy time. Seemed to do alright, 6.8 average rating across 33 matches in all competitions. Not amazing, obviously, but he's a centre-back. I'm not really expecting him to be scoring worldies. The other centre-back, similar situation, didn't really do too much, did get a couple of goals, however, a 6.71 across 34 games, so slightly worse than Omar Mbinga. His determination has dropped drastically, which that is normally the indication of a pretty severe injury. One thing with Garda Thomason, though, he does now have 2 caps for Iceland, and he's worth £36 to £44 million. One thing that we might end up doing as a club, and by we, I don't mean me, I mean my director of football, might just get an offer of like £30 million for this guy and go, yep, we'll do it. And we'll just take that money. And all of a sudden, we'll have a ridiculous bump in finances. That is a certain possibility, and almost certainly, it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point in the next couple of seasons. We are going to lose one player for a stupid amount of money. I'm hoping it's not Thomason. I'm hoping it's not Mbinga either. I'm hoping it's Beekman. Because of all of the players, I don't think he's that great. He's okay. I mean, he does get some goals. 8 goals, 13 assists in all competitions. An average rating of a 7.07. So actually the best of the 3 that we have locked in for the season. But he's a winger. He's scoring goals. An XG of 8.6 and 8 goals scored is not terrible at all, is it? Obviously, he has underperformed his XG, but he's kind of performed on target, which is expected. To be honest, I'll say now, if you're new here, I don't really care for XG. It's a nonsense attribute and stat. It doesn't really mean too much because, yeah, I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, it's numbers that some people care about. You've also probably noticed that Coleridge and Lundqvist also got some game time. So Lundqvist only came off the bench once in the cup, by the looks of it. Didn't really come on for long enough to really make too much of a difference, but he's getting better slightly. And the other player to get some game time is Davor Coleridge, the Slovenian, he's literally just come through, right? He's literally just come through the youth intake. He's already played 3 times off the bench. He gets an average rating of a 6.7 as well. He's not amazing, but the fact that he's getting some game time, who did he play against? He's played the last few games of the season, really. Did we beat Willem 6-1? Or is that like a B team result? We beat Willem 6-1. Did I miss that? I mean, the answer is yes, because it is a 6-1 win there. So, I mean, we absolutely smashed them. Fair enough. So those are the players who have obviously got some game time in Season 3 in this Youth Development Challenge with FC Volendam. Season 4 means we have to lock in 4 players into our starting 11. And I'm quite happy so far. There is no wanted next to any players. So right now, my initial thoughts are we might be going for Bussard. I think we might be going for Bussard, but then again, we've got 3 defenders. Do we go for, rather than Bussard, do we go Lundqvist on the right? Is that an option? I mean, the real wild one is maybe, do we just go with Yannick Fij? Yannick Fij, the 15-year-old goalkeeper, is he our number 1 goalkeeper for next season? And also one thing we're going to find out at the start of next season, what's happening? What is happening with this? Because this has completely passed me by. I have not paid attention to this new stadium nonsense. They've probably been sending me emails and they're just going into my junk folder. So we're going to find out at the start of Season 4. Are we going to have a new stadium as well? In Season 3 of our Youth Development Challenge with FC Volendam in the Netherlands, we managed to finish bang smack in the middle of the table-ish, give or take a few points, and we have done a lot better than we did in Season 2, where we almost got ourselves relegated. As this is a Youth Development Challenge save, we have a couple of little rules that we need to follow. They're quite minor rules, but because this is Season 4, the rules are as follows. We must lock in 4 players into our starting 11 for the entire season who have come through our youth intakes. And these players, this is rule number 2, cannot be any older than 21 when the transfer window closes in September. Luckily for us, because we're only in Season 4, I think the oldest player that we've got through our youth intake is 19, maybe 20. So we've probably got another season or 2 before we have to start worrying about maybe rotating some of these players out. The other thing that I'm really excited for this season is we might have a new stadium, and I have no idea why or if it's ever going to happen. In 3 days' time, we are going to find out. This has been 14 months. 14 months does not sound like a long enough time to build a stadium to me, okay? Maybe they're just finding out where to build a stadium, but we are going to find out in a moment when we jump forward to September. Just a reminder, the players that we had locked in for Season 3 were Garda Thomason, Omar Mbinga and Andrew Beekman. We obviously need to lock in a 4th player, and it might be a goalkeeper. it might be a goalkeeper. If we have a very quick look at my first team squad here, all of these players are options, plus we've got a whole bunch of people as well in our under-19s as well that could also kind of do a job if we don't think these ones are the right choice, because we also do need to try and do well in the competitions, because if we get sacked, I don't know what happens. If we get sacked, we might just end when we get sacked. Another thing that we are doing for this save with FC Volendam is I am not in control of transfers. My director of football is the man in control of transfers. The transfer window has technically opened, but no business has gone through as of yet. So when we jump forward to September, we'll go through all the transfers that have taken place. I am interested, actually, financially, we are not in an amazing way. We've got negative £1 million transfer budget. We might need to sell a big name player in order to actually make our squad better. That's a worry. We'll have to go forward, find out if that is the case. I've just seen, actually. Oh, no. Al-Khalij want Omar and Binga. That's not good. I'm assuming these ones... Oh, you're wanted as well? Zwal want Fidge on loan. You might have him, actually. That's not a terrible idea. And Coleridge, Feyenoord want Coleridge. So this is the one that concerns me. Al-Khalij wanting Omar and Binga. But if they give us like £20 million, maybe that's not like the worst thing to do. £20 million might actually like allow our director of football to buy in some decent players. It might also give us the opportunity to basically make our facilities better as well. We are going to jump forward then to the start of September. The transfer window will be closed. We will lock in our 4 players for the season, and then hopefully we're happy with what we've done. It might be Yannick Fidge. So the transfer window has now closed, and we haven't lost a big name player. We have got rid of a few people. So Delano van der Heijden has gone to Heracles Alemo, could be their name on a permanent deal. Mies Ackerman has gone to FC Dordrecht, and we have also got rid of Elias Hazir to NEC for a small fee. We have loaned in a bunch of people from Club Brugge for some reason. We've also signed Yunus Salami, who is a 20-year-old Dutch central midfielder. Why are we just buying 20-year-olds constantly? I don't understand that. We've also signed Thijam Romers, could be his name, a 20-year-old Dutch central midfielder. I'm starting to think there might be something broken with directors of football because he's just buying central midfielders and youngsters constantly. The players we've loaned in from Club Brugge, we have a right winger, Al Hassan Kamara. Doesn't look terrible, actually. Looks like a pretty good player, but I don't think he'll get a huge amount of game time for us. We've got a striker, Jean-Paul Baya, could be his name. Actually, he does look quite good. We've still got, what's his name? Is it Zawada, the striker? So I don't think he's going to get much game time. Anyway, we've got Iwo Polakau, could be his name. A 21-year-old Polish attacking midfielder. Again, doesn't look terrible. He doesn't really play a position that we play, though, because he's an attacking midfielder who can't play as a striker, which is what we need. And we also have Jesse de Bova, who is obviously from Club Brugge, and he is the number 1 goalkeeper, isn't he, for the season? Jesse de Bova, the 19-year-old goalkeeper from Club Brugge. He might be our number 1. Right, I've just had a look. He's not our number 1. Roy Sturr is our number 1 goalkeeper for the season. I don't know why he didn't play much last season, but he seems to be our number 1 now. He's still not very good. A bit of a spoiler, we're not playing Yannick Fidge, okay? Season 5? Question mark. The players that we are locking in, though, it is the same 3 as last time, and Kenzo Broussard is our new player, the right back. I think I said when the youth intakes came in that I think he might be the one that gets some game time, just because he plays in a position that we're not massively overloaded in. So actually getting some game time, even though he's only 15, he's going to hopefully do all right. He hasn't played as of yet. He has literally just been locked in, but we've also got Garda Thomason, who is still at the club. 6 caps now for Iceland, 17 years old. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. He's good. He's really good. He's worth nearly £60 million. That is insane money, right? Alongside Thomason, we have Omar and Binga, the 18-year-old now, worth £14 to £21 million. 4-star current ability, 5-star potential. Mentally, he's really good, isn't he? He's really good mentally. Technically, not amazing. Physically, pretty good, but mentally, those numbers are just superb. And then we still have old Andrew Beekman. That's right, old Andrew Beekman at the age of 18. He's been obviously the longest standing member of the first team, but I think technically he's not the oldest. Still only 5'4". His growing days are over. He is not going to get any more inches onto him. He's good. He's good. 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential, 20 to £28 million for Andrew Beekman. I am surprised we haven't sold anybody in the summer. I was expecting Mbinga to go, if I'm perfectly honest, but I'm surprised we haven't sold anybody. The fact that we've got these players for at least half a season is quite encouraging. This might be the season where we sell somebody in January and it kind of screws up our plans for the second half of the year. Which, by the way, if we sell somebody in January, like, I don't know, Mbinga leaves, I'm not going to replace him up until April, because I'm not going to know that he's been sold until we get to April, is what I'm trying to say. We also have a brand new stadium. We have the Wim Jonk Stadium. You can't see anything about it. It's a brand new stadium built in 2028. It is nearly 15,000 seater. When did this happen? I missed all of the news articles about them saying we're going to build a new stadium, but we have built the Wim Jonk Stadium. I'm assuming Wim Jonk... I mean, I've heard of Wim Jonk, okay? I've heard of Wim Jonk, but I'm assuming he's a club legend, right? I don't even know where we find this information out. Is it club history? Do we find it there? Manager history? I don't know where we find this out. I've just written legends and it's found a team in Colombia. That's not what I'm after. Yeah, I've no idea where to find this. I'm sure it's going to be here. This would make the most sense, right? To be on this page somewhere. And it probably is, and I can't see it at all. What is on this page, however, is obviously the Eredivisie and the KNVB Beker competitions. And if we look at the Eredivisie, we're 17th so far. Similar to how we started last season, to be honest. 4 games in, we've got 1 win this time around, 3 defeats to our name. It has not started off particularly well, has it? What have we done? We have lost to Willem II, the team that we beat 6-1 in the final game of the season last time. We drew with Sparta Rotterdam, the team that we beat in the first 4 games last season. We've lost to Heerenveen and we've lost to Almere City. We should have won probably 2, maybe 3 of those games, I think. This could be a long and horrible season if this is how it stays. Anyway, then I guess the next thing to do is to jump forward to April. We'll get to our youth intake as well. Can we find out? Do we get like a sneak peek of how good it is going to be? It's an excellent intake apparently, but everyone's a D. So I'm not too sure whether that is actually something that we should be paying too much attention to, but it's apparently an excellent intake. So we're going to jump forward then to April time where the youth intake comes in. Hopefully we haven't just got sacked. Hopefully we're stuck in this horrible relegation scrap. Hopefully we haven't sold anybody as well. First things first, we are 15th place in the Eredivisie. We're in a relegation scrap. Luckily for us, Roda JC are absolutely dog chocolate and are currently sat bottom of the table with just 7 points and have already been relegated with 0 wins. 0 wins to their name. We are certainly in danger of getting ourselves relegated. However, our form recently has been superb. We've drawn with Twente, but we've beaten Heerenveen, Camber, Excelsior and Go Ahead Eagles. That's pretty good. Considering Heerenveen are actually in 5th, Excelsior are 6th, Go Ahead Eagles are 9th, Camber are 13th. Okay, we'll ignore that one. And FC Twente are actually below us, so that one we should have probably won. But we're on an upswing. It probably means, though, I mean, we can't see this, but we were probably in a relegation zone, weren't we? Up until those wins, we were probably in a relegation zone. Ooh, that is not particularly good. I will double check. What's the board saying before we go into looking at our youth intake? So the board... Are they happy? Board performance. They're pleased. They are pleased. I think it's because they just don't want us to get relegated. That's literally their objective. So actionable objectives is avoid relegation. They are disappointed, but we are still currently doing it. And be competitive, which we are apparently doing. Also, my contract expires. We'll get a new one. It's fine. I'm also interested. So the supporters, they're satisfied. They're very pleased with some wins. That's about it. They're also concerned by some defeats as well. Before we take a look at the youth players, let's take a look at some transfers so we can see some players have left, but we've also brought in Jona Gieselink, who's from Indonesia. We've got an Indonesian central midfielder that we didn't need. Fair enough, but he's come in to the club on a free transfer from FC Emmen. But we have sold, that's the word. Hassan Bulut has gone to PEC Zwolle on a permanent deal. So this is a player that came through our youth intakes. He has moved on. I think this is the first one that has moved on, so it'd be interesting to see. Have we let one go? Have we lost a good one? Same with Eindhoven here, has also moved to PC as well, one from our youth intake in Season 1, I assume, judging by the fact that he is 19 years of age. Have we let a good one go? I don't think we have, if I'm perfectly honest. We've also sold Ryan de Vries, 20-year-old central midfielder, who is a player that we probably brought at some point. No, apparently came through youth intake in real life. And this man here, Reda Benamar, has gone on loan to Roda JC. So youth players then, and it has been another very good intake of youth players. We've got ourselves another potentially 5-star goalkeeper. We've only starred or plussed 2 players at this season, which we will have a look at in just a moment. But we've got players, we've got one decent prospect, Eric Lucassen. Sorry, bud. You're probably not going to make it. We've got all these people here as well who I don't think are going to make it. But from this point onwards, so Hans Jacobs and upwards, let's take a look. The 15-year-old left midfielder, not winger, left midfielder. Actually, that's perfect because we play a left winger who dropped back. 1-star current ability, 4.5-star potential, 3.5-star potential. Sorry. So, I mean, he's not amazing, is he? He's not amazing, but you never know. Could get good. Dan DeHaan, which is an amazing name for a 15-year-old left and or right back. He can play both positions. That's quite handy. Doesn't look very good, but his name is Dan DeHaan, which is lovely. That's all I've got to say about him, apparently. A somewhat versatile Austrian midfielder now, Christian Brandt, 16 years old, has just turned 16 by the looks of it, 2 weeks ago. Defensive midfielder by trade, but could actually play as an attacker midfielder or even a centre-back. He's 5'8", you're not a centre-back. I quite like the look of him, and I'm imagining it's because of all the positions he could play, not necessarily because of how good he is. He does have lots of nines in quite a few places, so he might get good. I want to keep an eye on Christian. Next up is a Swedish central footballer, I'll call him. He's a central midfielder, but could also play as a striker or attacking midfielder. It is Gustav Ragnarsson, the 16-year-old. They're all 16 or 15. I don't know why I feel the need to tell you how old they are. He is unambitious. He's got low determination. I'm not seeing it. I think he's got some good technical numbers. I say good. He's got passing and technique. At first touch isn't horrendous. Yeah, Gustav, you're probably not going to make it, bud. Moving forward into the elite prospects, so players that should make it. We have 5 in total. Starting at the bottom then with Sten Ringeling. Good name, right back. Not ideal because we've got a player already in our squad who is a right back. He's 5'2". You need to be doing a little bit more growing, bud. Physically, looks pretty good. Mentally, looks pretty good. Technically, doesn't look amazing, but lots of 8s and 9s. He is unambitious, which is a thing that apparently means something to people who play Football Manager and actually pay attention to that, which is not me. We also have a Danish left winger / left midfielder called Anton Kalmar, who I like the look of Anton. I really like the look of Anton. Mentally looks real good. 16 at determination and aggression. Bravery of 15 as well is good. He's got decent leadership, so potentially a future captain in 10 years' time if he's still at the club. Teamwork and work rate also in the teens. Physically not horrific either. Technically, I think is what's letting him down. Like, the dribbling and technique is only going to get you so far, bud, if you can't pass and you can't cross. What good are you as a left winger and you can't finish either? And I think we play an inside forward, so arguably we kind of need you to be able to finish as well. You're still only 15, plenty of time. Our second really good goalkeeper in as many seasons is Peter Te Winkel, who is a 15-year-old goalkeeper. He'll be 16 at the end of the year. He looks good. I don't know if is it him or Fidge? Not quite sure. Should we compare him with Fidge? If we can find him. There's Yannick Fidge. So, attributes-wise, please tell me in the comments below, who do you think is better? I'm leaning towards Fidge, and I don't know why. I think as an outright goalkeeper, probably Peter Te Winkel, I think is a slightly better goalkeeper. But, it could be good. Fidge has got horrendous leadership and off the ball. Off the ball, it doesn't matter though, does it? It doesn't matter because he's got horrendous leadership and off the ball. Like, the averages, 9 and 8, 7 and 7, 8 and 10. So physically, Yannick is better. Goalkeeper-wise, Peter is better. But actually, Yannick's nearly 2 metres. Peter's 177. He's 5'10". He's too small for a goalkeeper. I've said it out loud. I don't know if that's true or not. He is also 15, so he could actually be like 6'3" within about 2 years' time. So we'll find out. But I think Peter Te Winkel could be good. We will have to keep an eye on the Fidge versus Te Winkel battle. And then the final 2 players then who have got the pluses next to them, frustratingly, Rick van Haren is a right back who has a plus next to him, which means we now have 3 potentially really good right backs. It's annoying. Maybe we look to retrain one of them. Van Haren has a fairly strong left foot. Do we retrain you to be a left back maybe? But I think judging from like the 11s and 13s that he's got all over the place, he's got a lot of them. That's why I put the plus next to him. I think he's got a lot of good numbers in already reasonably positioned numbers, places, numbers, colours, that kind of thing. Bump them all up by 2, 3, 4 or 5. He's going to look utterly ridiculous. So that is why I put the plus against Rick. The problem is, like I said, he's a right back. We don't need a right back. Something we certainly do need, though, is a defensive midfielder. And Kevin Eugenia, the 15-year-old, is that man. And I think he is the best one out of the lot, right? He looks really good mentally, got the numbers all in all the right places. Determination, teamwork, work rate is also pretty good up there technically as well. Got some good numbers. 13 finishing. Stick him in defence midfield. Maybe could score a few goals going up for some corners and stuff like that. Like lurking out the edge of the penalty area, not going for headers. He's 5'5". And he's got 2 jumping reach. Amazing. Yeah, don't bother jumping, bud. It's not even worth trying. But I think Kevin's the best one. And I think for Season 5, Kevin is on the list of potential people who could be getting game time in Season 5. And I say that because Omar Mbinga here is 19 and he is currently wanted still by teams in Saudi Arabia, which means I feel like he's going to be going soon anyway. We are also going to be in a position, obviously season 5 is the last season where we have to lock in. That's the maximum players. 5 players is the maximum amount of players that we will lock in to any season. And I feel Mbinga's going to go. Beekman, obviously, he's 18 at the moment. I think he's nearly 19. Yeah, he'll be 19 in a month's time. So he's only got a year or 2 left in him. Thomason, probably similar situation. I mean, he's just turned 18. Okay, Thomason's got another season in him. But maybe we need to start thinking about trying, like the succession plans, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe we think about the succession plans for who plays when Mbinga goes, who plays when Thomason goes, who plays when Beekman goes. We need to start working that out as well, which is complicated because obviously they might not go. It just means I can't lock them in. Beekman could be 25 and still at the club, and it means I don't want to have a good left winger because Beekman can probably do that job. It's really complicated and confusing in my head. Hopefully you don't need to worry too much about that. I do want to double check our finances. Obviously, last season we had negative 1 million transfer budget, I think. It's now negative £68,000. So we are going upwards, but we are still not in a great place. I imagine the stadium costs haven't helped. Now we've got a bigger stadium. We've effectively tripled our capacity nearly. We should be getting in a lot more money from season tickets and just general match day revenue. So that should hopefully help things out. But I'm still thinking we are going to end up having to sell one of these players to basically fund the future of this club. Oh, and also, in a surprise to absolutely nobody, we are not in the KNVB Becker final. I think we did all right, actually. I think we got, I guess, second round. We lost to Heracles on penalties. We got to the second round. We didn't do all right at all. We are never going to do well in any cup competition. And judging by how well things are going in the league, we'll probably never do well in that either. But that's not the purpose of a Youth Development Challenge save. The purpose is to develop the youth. So let's jump forward to the end of the season, see where we have finished, and obviously see how well the players who've been locked in for the season have done as well. 15th place. 15th place, joint on points with Groningen. We only managed to avoid going into the relegation playoff on goal difference because we scored 51 goals. We let in 74. That is the second worst in the league. That is horrendous. How have we the fact that we also lost to Groningen in the final game of the season as well. We lost to Roda JC. We lost to Almere. We lost to Roda JC. They won twice all season. And they were the final 2 games of the season as well. That's just madness. They turned up once everything was all said and done. But I guess the fact that we have managed to stay in the league is a good sign. The fact we still have a job is a good sign. That's obviously a big concern that we might get sacked. But as I mentioned earlier, the board, all they want us to do is just stay in the league, right? They just want us to stay in the league. How can I find it? It's that one there, Club Vision. That's the one we're after. The next season they want mid-table. No, that's this season. Next season they want a top half finish. They want a top half finish. Have we got new owners? Plans will be settled when the club ownership is resolved. We might have new owners as well in the summer. Anyway, then let's take a look at the players locked in for the season. So 4 of them in total. We'll start off with Garda Thomason, I believe, with 28 appearances. So he did miss a couple of matches. 26 of them in the league. Just 1 goal. Looks pretty good. 12 caps now for Iceland. 45 to 53 million pounds. Garda is going to leave at some point, and he's going to make our club hopefully very, very rich. He does have only 2 years left on his contract. I hope we sell him before he decides he doesn't want to be here and doesn't want to renew a contract. Garda's central defender partner Omar Mbinga is next up. Played pretty much everything. 32 league games, 1 goal and 1 assist, 2 cup matches as well. He is wanted by everyone. It's time. It is time. Omar Mbinga, you have served us well. Chelsea, Liverpool, FCM and Optimistic, Inter, Juve, Al Fayed and Damak all want him. I mean, FCM and being in there is just quite funny to me. But yeah, I think Omar Mbinga might be off in the summer. Which, if we get £10 million, maybe £13 million, that's good. I'll be quite happy with that because I think that money would probably be better off in our bank account than in the shape of Omar Mbinga. The other defender, the new name to the list for this season, was Kenzo Broussard. 28 appearances, 1 goal, 5 assists. Not a huge amount of assists. I would have hoped for a few more, but he is only a little child still. He's 5'9". I swear he was a lot smaller than that. Was he like 5'4"? And he's grown quite considerably in the last few months. But anyway, I think Broussard looks pretty good. He's obviously got plenty of time to develop as well. So pretty good first season, a 6.65 average rating. And then the other player, obviously the only other player who isn't a defender, is Andrew Beekman. the now 19-year-old. So he's just turned 19, so we've got 1-2 seasons left, I think, of Andrew Beekman before we have to remove him from our starting 11. If he's still at the club, that is. 10 goals in all competitions, 6 assists in all competitions, lots of arrows on the up as well. However, he's unhappy. He wants to move to a stronger squad. You've got a 4-year contract, bud. Maybe we'll get a stronger squad before you leave. Or we sell you for £25 million, which is also an option too. I'd be okay with that. Alongside the players locked in, we still have these 4 here who were in the first team, but only one of them actually made some game times, and that is Davor Kolaric, who obviously joined the squad last season and came off the bench once, I believe, in a cup game, has actually started a league match. He's got a 6.6 average rating as well across all of his games that he's played. He's all right, isn't he? I mean, I swear he wasn't a central midfielder. I swear he was not a central midfielder. Has he moved into that? He played as a left-back for a bit, apparently, and a centre-back. Why did you play as a left-back against Roda JC? You can't really play there. You're not even left-footed. I mean, you're fairly strong, but you're not left-footed. You're a 6'3" centre-back, mate. Why did you play as a left-back? I have no idea. I do also want to just double-check on Yannick. He's getting better in a few places. Nothing really too major at the moment. He's also got a trait of argues with officials. That might be a good thing for a goalkeeper. I don't know. So, Season 4 is complete. We are still in the job. We are still in the league, which is obviously a very good thing. But I feel like we might need to start trying to improve and going up the table in the summer between Season 4 and Season 5. I fear Omar Mbinga might be on his way out of the club, but I think we need to look at the silver linings and see there is hopefully a huge sum of money coming our way. Season 4 of our Youth Development Challenge save with FC Volendam nearly ended in disaster. We were saved by goal difference because of the fact that we scored 51 goals but we conceded 74 meant we did not fall into the relegation playoff. If we did and we lost, we might have been sacked. Because we haven't lost, we are currently still in a job. And a job that involves us basically having to play a set number of youth players every single season. Because we're in Season 5, we have to play 5 youth players locked in. This is the maximum amount of youth players we will be locking in for our FC Volendam squad, but 5 of them is quite a lot, and it gets even more complicated because we've lost one of our former players who was locked in last season. It was only a matter of time before it happened, but Omar Mbinga is the first player to leave our club for a sizable sum of money. He has moved over to Juventus Next Gen, which I can only assume is like their B team, where he is currently playing in Series C-A, I assume that's a thing, for £12 million. Quite a lot of money. I would have liked to have got a bit more money, but Omar Mbinga has moved on. It has meant, if we look at the finances of the club, we actually have cash now. We've got £8 million worth of transfer budget to spend, and hopefully our director of football doesn't absolutely ruin everything and spend all of it on useless midfielders that we don't need. It is obviously a transfer window. The 1st of July, the window opened a few days ago in game. We have sold, obviously, Mbinga, but we've also sold this man, Hamdi Akujobi. He has gone to Excelsior for £175,000, and we have also brought in a couple of new faces. We have signed Junior dos Reis Borges from Helmand Sport, a 20-year-old, because always, every single season we'll buy about 30 20-year-olds. We've also signed Darko Nejesamic, could be his name, from FC Groningen, the team that finished below us and got relegated, for just under £1 million. I think this was a sensible bit of business to do. Problem is, we might not be able to play him because maybe we might lock in 2 defence midfielders into our squad for Season 2. Season 2? Season 5? We're not even close to Season 2 anymore. So from a tactics perspective, this is what our squad currently looks like based on what we had, or what we have left, from last season. We've got Kenzo Broussard, we have Garda Thomason, and we have Andrew, I can't talk at the moment, Andrew Beekman. It means for Season 5 we need to find at least 2 more players to add into that squad. If we go here and we sort by names, you can see these are our potential options. There's only 6 of them. It might mean Kolaric is locked in. It might mean Lundqvist is locked in. It might mean Yannick Fish is locked in as our number 1 goalkeeper. I'm not convinced that's a good idea. The other options we do have is we could jump back down to our under 18s or under 19s, and find any one of these who could be good. We've got Kevin and we've got Rick. Let's move Kevin and Rick into the first team as well. So actually, there's a few more options. Good. We were a bit worried there. We do obviously have 2 right backs, which is a concern. Kevin could be playing. Kevin at 15 might be playing. We'll have to find out. We are going to jump forward now then to just after the transfer window closes in September, and we will lock in the 5 players that we have to lock in for Season 5. Before we talk about the players being locked in, you can see here we have spent £7 million. 4.3 of it was spent on one man. We'll come back to him in a moment. We have also loaned out Kenzo Broussard. I am not in control of transfers, so this is not something that I've actively gone out of my way to do. Kenzo, who played last season, has gone out on loan to NAC Breda, so we dropped down a division. But that could be a good thing, because it means we can actually play the other right-back that we've got, and I can't remember his name, Rick something. It is Rick. It's Rick Van Haren, and if we do a comparison of numbers, they're basically the same person. So mentally, Kenzo's slightly better. Physically, Rick is slightly better. So kind of okay with playing Rick for a season if we have to. I will fly through the players as well that we have signed. So we have got our big signing of the summer, which is Stige, could be his name. Resync, signed from recently relegated FC Groningen. It's a good player. He is a very good player, but £4.3 million for a player who's just been relegated might be a bit on the steep side. Loads of 13s and 14s and stuff. So I think it's good. It's a sensible signing, but it's a lot of money to spend. We've also signed Sem Westerveld, who's a 27-year-old Dutch goalkeeper, who I can only assume is a relative of Sander Westerveld, the former Liverpool goalkeeper. Is Sander Westerveld even a person on this? I mean, we've not got any. Have we got favoured personnel? Is that a thing here? Favoured personnel, none. So if that is his dad, and he exists in game, he wants nothing to do with him. We've also signed another goalkeeper. This time is a Bulgarian called Plamen Andreev. He has been signed from PSV, final for £500,000. Not quite sure who's the better goalkeeper here, but we've got two goalkeepers now, which is obviously quite helpful. We have signed Mats Dejel from FC Utrecht, a right-back and centre-back. Player that we don't need, fair enough. I mean, sometimes they'll just do that because they don't expect us to play a bunch of 15-year-olds. We have Jelani Dalman, who is our just obligatory 20-year-old striker that's not very good at football. And we have loaned... Wait, we've got in loads of people. Hold on. Max Burns, £800,000. Defensive midfielder, centre-back. Looks quite good. Question is, do we need half of these people? We've got Stanislas Mbai, striker. Looks ridiculous. Looks utterly ridiculous. Let's hope we don't lock in a striker for this season. I think we're probably fine, actually. We've also got Finn Stam, £650,000 central defender. Again, looks pretty good. I'm hoping the Mbai money has been spent sensibly here. Obviously, I don't really know if it has been spent sensibly. We've got Cisse Sandra is his name, attacking midfielder. We have got this man, Shale Sunder, because we needed another 20-year-old striker who's never going to play for us. We've got Mamadou Diakon, could be his name, on loan from Club Brugge, the 23-year-old winger. He's not amazing, nothing too special. We've also got Finn Verhoeven, 20-year-old striker, because of course he is. And we have got David van der Werf, who's a 25-year-old attacking midfielder on loan from Groningen. We seem to have looked at Groningen and gone, they finished below us and got relegated. We'll take all of their players, please. We also have Gillian Curiel, who is a 20-year-old striker, because of course he is. So we brought in a lot of people. Question is, on the 4th of September, how many of these people are even going to be able to get into the squad? Because we've locked in 5 people. And this is what it looks like. We have locked in Rick. Rick Van Haren is going to be our right back. Obviously, we have just loaned out the previous right back from last season, so Rick Van Haren will be our right back for the year. I'm okay with that. Garda Thomason, if we didn't lock him in, he'd still get game time, is what I'm trying to say. We don't need to lock Thomason in, but if we need to lock in 5, we may as well make the use of having a really good 5th player. The other new player joining the starting 11 is Kevin Eugenia, the 16-year-old central midfielder who is going to be retrained to be a defensive midfielder. And I think this one, if we can keep hold of Kevin for a long time, I think he's going to be really good for us. We then have Christian Lundqvist, who is also joining the starting lineup, and he's going to be playing as a striker. And when I say striker, I mean attacking midfielder and shadow striker, which is a position he can't play. But in possession, he can do that. Out of possession, he can't do that. He can't do this, but he's training to do this job. So we're going to see how it goes. That is what we're going to go with. And then obviously Andrew Bickman will keep his place in the starting 11 as well. He's still very valuable. The season has obviously kicked off as well. So how has things gone on so far? It's not looking good, is it? No, we're 16th again. Two draws this time, which is obviously good. So we've drawn with NEC and Heerenveen, but lost against Ajax and lost against Graafschap. Losing to Ajax is expected. Beating NEC, I would have liked to do. Beating Heerenveen, I would have liked to do. But we're scoring goals. We are also conceding lots and lots of goals as well. Well, I guess the next thing to do then is to jump forward to April where we'll have our youth intake. Hopefully we'll still be in a job as well. I feel like I'm going to be saying this every single season at this point. Hopefully we've still got a job, because we are teetering on the edge of relegation every single time at the moment. Wait, I will double check the board. The board promises. There's no easy way of getting that, is there, other than going to here and then to here. So the board promises they want to avoid relegation. They just want to avoid relegation and be competitive. That's fine. Also, the youth facilities, that's just reminded me, we've done our youth recruitment, we are doing our youth facilities. They said no to the junior coaching budget, but they are actually starting to improve stuff now, because the Omar and Bingham money is now being able to be spent, which is obviously good. Right, lots of waffle at the start of this season. Let's jump forward then to around the 9th or 10th of April. Youth intake will be in. We'll hopefully be about 7th in the table, would be quite nice as well. And yeah, hopefully we still got a job. Things have got a little bit better with our FC Volendam side. We are now 11th place in the table. 27 games have been played. What is that? I think there is 4, 5, 6, 7 more games left to play. So realistically, we are probably finishing mid-table. I can't imagine we're going to get high enough up the table to basically challenge for the European playoff spot thingy that happens around 5th, 6th and 8th kind of place. But also, we are quite clearly far enough away from the relegation scrap as well. So mid-table is almost certainly on the cards. It is obviously the 6th of April right now, and we do have ourselves our youth intake through. But before we get there, let's just double check we haven't lost anybody else to minimum fee releases and stuff like that. So transfers that took place then in January, just 4 players leaving the club. We've got Aklo, could be his name, and Crudden going to FC Twente. Aklo's gone for 1.1 million. Is he good? He's not horrendous, is he? He's actually, I mean, for a 21-year-old, I probably wouldn't have sold him for that cheap. Crudden, £775,000 as well. A player that was never going to realistically play for us, let's be honest. Rui Mendes has gone to Telstar for 170,000. Didn't we buy him last season? We bought him a couple of seasons ago for 190. Fair enough. We have also got Romas going to PEC Zwolle, another player that we probably signed on a free transfer, and then, yeah, never played for us, and we've made £31,000 profit. Lovely. Joining the club, we have got 4 people as well. 2 of them on free transfers, so we have a 21-year-old Suriname striker called Vliter. Yeah, sure, never played for us. The other free transfer is Raul Swinkles, who is a 20-year-old central midfielder. Also, I have no idea why I said Swinkles like that, but I did. We've committed to it now. That's a thing that's happened. We've also got Nazir Held from Heracles for £250,000. So quite a lot of money for the Curacao International. But he's good, right? He's good. He's probably going to get some game time for us. That's okay. I'm fine with that one. And also Romeo Garnier from Ajax. He's got a little bit of money. Probably one for the future, but he's a 20-year-old striker and he'll never get into our squad. Stop doing this, Director of Football, okay? Stop buying 20-year-olds. We don't need that. We've got our youth intakes. And speaking of youth intakes, it's another very, very good one. I don't know what's happening. We are getting elite prospects constantly, every single season. We've got 7 elite prospects coming through. One of them I'm really excited about, which is Onno de Jong here. We'll come to him in just a moment. We've also got 3 top prospects and a bunch of garbage further down the list. So Dennis Hollanders, first up, right winger, who's got lots of good mental numbers, hasn't he? Really good mental numbers. Physical, not awful as well. Technically, not very good, but maybe the mental and physical numbers could be good enough to just pull him through. We have Jasper Bosch, a left back, who looks alright. Mental numbers also looks pretty decent. Physical doesn't look amazing technically. Got some okay numbers for a 15-year-old. Not the worst player I've seen. We have Quint. I'm not going to try and say the surname. Central defender, 6'2", big lad. Reasonable mental numbers, reasonable physical numbers, technical numbers, not amazing. But again, 15 years of age, 6'2", centre-back. And then we move into the 7 elite prospects. Starting off then with our 35th right back that we seem to get. I don't know why we're getting so many good right backs, but Bart Peters is our next decent right back off the production line. 1.5 star current ability, 4.5 star potential for Bart. Doesn't look amazing, but lots of 8s, 9s and 10s kind of area, so bump them up by a couple, and all of a sudden he's going to look like a pretty good player. We've got Robert Jesse, or Robert Yessi, could be. 15-year-old centre-back, maybe a defensive midfielder, that's an option. I do quite like the idea of that because we don't have a huge amount of defensive midfielders coming through, but I like the look of him. 1.5 star current ability, 4.5 star potential, mentally looks good, physically looks good, technically also looks pretty good as well if we're going to push him, maybe deploy him as a playmaker with his 13 passing and technique, that's a word. I think Robert's good. I like Robert. We're going to skip over Onno de Jong and Samuel Kafor for the moment. We have Ruben Generally Albertus, maybe could be his name. He also looks pretty good, right? Mentally, love these numbers. Loads of good numbers. 16 teamwork, 14 work rate, 12 determination, not the best, but still only 15 years old, will be 16 in a month or two's time. Centre-back at 6 foot, is he another candidate for a defensive midfielder? Maybe more so as a centre-back with his 14 tackling compared to his 10 passing, but he also can't header. Maybe you're a defensive midfielder as well. We also have a left winger called Filippo Cantarini, who is from the Netherlands. He's not, is he? He's from Italy. He's got to be from Italy. He's Dutch and Italian. He was born in... Does it say where he was born in? He was born in the Netherlands, but he is Italian. He's quite clearly Italian. You can tell from his name. Left winger and maybe a striker. I don't really know what to say about him. I mean, he's fine, isn't he? Determination of 19 is obviously the standout number there, but does it really mean much when everything else is distinctly average? He's a child still. He's 15. He'll definitely get better than this. And we have our third in 3 years goalkeepers, Louis Richards. Lewis Richards? Is he part English by chance? He's Canadian. We've got a Canadian man from Saskatoon. Fair enough. So, Lewis Richards, we'll call him that because you're Canadian. He looks good. I quite like the look of Lewis. We've got 3 potentially really good goalkeepers now in our squad, or at our club, should I say. Lewis, I think, might be the worst of the 3. But time will tell. Time will certainly tell. And then we move on to the 2 players who I think will be the best ones of the bunch. We have Samuel Kafour. One of the reasons why I think he's going to be best is he's a left back, okay? I said this, I think, a few seasons ago. You don't often get full backs, and then we got like 3 right backs over the course of 3 seasons. We don't get left backs. Samuel Kafour is a left back. He's got some good numbers, sort of. It's a good spread of numbers, okay? There's nothing outstanding, which means if everything goes up by like 2, 3, 4, 5, he's going to be ridiculously good. He's not got something like he's really quick or he's got great tackling. He's just average at everything, but he's quite high average at everything. So Samuel Kafour is the first player that I'm earmarking as one of the better ones. And Ono de Jong, I'm not saying the other ones are bad, by the way. I'm just trying to limit myself to only 2 players per season. Ono de Jong is next up, and I think it's quite obvious to see why I have flagged Ono de Jong. He's going to be playing next season. I'll tell you that now. He's going to be locked into the starting 11 next season. He's, as a striker for a 16-year-old, 14 finishing, 14 first touch, 14 technique, amazing. Mentally, really good numbers as well. He's got physical numbers are okay, not the best. He is a mercenary. Don't really know what that means too much. I assume he takes like money to go kill people. I don't know. I don't think that's allowed in Football Manager. But anyway, Ono de Jong, I think, is going to be the best one of the bunch. And I think we might be locking him in for season number 6. Speaking of players locked in, I haven't changed anything, by the way. It is still the same people. So Rick as our right back. We've got Garda Thomason. We've got Kevin Eugenia. We have got Christian Lundqvist and Andrew Bigman. Lundqvist, are you a striker yet? You're not a striker. Numbers are certainly going up, though. That's always good to see. Right, last thing to do then is to jump to the end of the season and see how we get on in the league. I mean, it's going to be mid-table, isn't it? Are we still in the cup, actually? Are we still in the cup? That's the thing that we should probably check. Where's the competitions? That one. Are we still in the cup? No, we've been knocked out in the semi-final. We got to the semi-final of the cup. We got battered in the semi-final, but we got to the semi-final and it's Feyenoord versus AZ in the final. I'm assuming this means we don't qualify for Europe or anything like that, but the fact that we got there, I'm happy with that. Also, why is Stanislas Mumbai yellow? Why is that a thing? Is he mine? He's mine! He's got 14 goals in the league. Next season, mate, you're not going to be playing, but you won't be here anyway, so it's fine. Right, let's jump forward then to the end of the season, see how we get on. Obviously, it's going to be mid-table. We managed to get ourselves up into 8th place in the league, which actually meant we qualified for the European Places playoff. We did immediately lose to Go Ahead Eagles in the first match, 3-2, which meant we got knocked out. But the fact that we managed to get that high up, we are starting to show improvements, which is good. Also, we didn't concede 70 goals this season, which I think last season we conceded like 72, which was really bad. We've only conceded 52 this time around. Our form's real bad. If our form was slightly better, we might have even finished in 7th. Wouldn't have finished any higher than 7th though, would we? Let's take a look then at the players that we locked in. Rick Van Haren first up then. He played 29 league games, 33 in all competitions. A few assists, nothing too outstanding for the youngster, 6.68 rating. Obviously, he's still a little baby, so plenty of time to develop here. Old Faithful, Garda Thomason. That's right, Old Faithful at 19 years of age. Now 21 caps for Iceland, worth £50 million. 35 league appearances, 5 in the cup, sorry, not 4 in the cup, 6.81 average rating, just 1 goal and 1 assist, probably should have scored a couple, judging by his XG. He's got 20 jumping reach. Has that gone up? Can we even see? That's jumping reach attributes. This is a thing that I've never really seen. So jumping reach, can we turn them all off? Is there a way to do this? Do I need to turn them off individually? Really, Football Manager? Really? I just want to see one attribute. That's all I'm after. It's jumping reach. Has it gone up? It has. It's gone up. I don't know what from. Doesn't tell me that, does it? But it's definitely gone up. So I mean, he's good at football. Is what I'm trying to say. He's really good at football, and he's probably going to leave very soon. But if we get anywhere near £55 million, we are laughing. Moving into defensive midfield, we have Kevin Eugenia playing a full season, 34 games, so actually played every single match, 4 in the cup as well. He's a little man at 5'5", but he's still only 16, so he will obviously develop. Numbers are starting to go up as well. Kevin's good. I feel like Kevin's going to be a mainstay in this squad. Andrew Beekman is next up. He's going to have one more season potentially locked into the starting 11, and then he will be gone because by the start of season 7, he will be 21. And he's not allowed to be locked in when he is 21 years of age. But Andrew Beekman, again, pretty decent season. 8 goals in the league, 3 in the cup, 11 in all competitions, 10 assists as well, an average rating of a 7.19. He's unhappy. He's still unhappy. He wants to move to a stronger club. No one wants you, bud. Apparently no one cares for you. 20 million is probably the reason, let's be honest. I think that might be on the steep side. And finally, we have Christian Lundqvist, the striker who isn't a striker, playing as an attacking midfielder for the season, but not really doing much too exciting. I mean, he got 8 goals, 7 assists as well, an average rating of a 6.76. I'm sure I am training him, right? I mean, I can't see now because he's on holiday. Yeah, he's being trained as a shadow striker and a centre forward. He's been doing this all season, and he doesn't know how to be a shadow striker or a centre forward. So I don't know what you're learning. It's clearly not what we've told you to do, but Christian's done all right for the season as well. Only one more player has actually managed to play some games who has got a little star next to their name, and this is Davor Kolaric, same as last season, I think. He's played a few matches off the bench primarily, did score a goal in the cup. He's getting good. He's actually getting good. If we end up losing somebody like Thomason, Kolaric will probably just come in, just straight replacement, and I'll be quite happy with that, to be honest. I've just seen Yannick Fidge has also played 4 matches this season. I'm not sure how or why, but Yannick's got some game time for us. His jumping reach is at 17. He's 6'5". He's an absolute gigantic boy. He played 4 non-competitive games, conceded 15. 4 league games, conceded 7. Yeah, I can see why he only played 4 times. There will come a time where Yannick or one of the other 2 goalkeepers will be locked into the squad. I promise you I will be locking a goalkeeper in for at least 1 season. Maybe more if we actually get a really good one. So that wraps up Season 5. Season 6, hopefully we are going to be going from strength to strength and actually climbing up the table. I want to be starting to qualify for European competitions. I'm hoping we are not in danger of being sacked anytime soon now. If this season is anything to go by, we have certainly improved. We are in a very good financial situation as well in the club. We've got £7.8 million because of the Mbinga sale. If we end up selling somebody else as well, we're going to be in a really good position. Obviously, I don't want to sell people, but sometimes you kind of have to sell people if you want to improve your facilities and stuff like that. So that is going to do it for Season 5. Season 6, we are on a hunt for European football. Welcome back to our Youth Development Challenge with FC Volendam in the Netherlands. It is Season 6, and that means we are locking in our maximum amount of players, which is 5 players that have come through our youth intakes. They can't be older than 21 when the transfer window closes on normally the 2nd of September, I believe. I think we should still be in a reasonable position. I think we've got some decent enough players. I might take a gamble this season. I might take a gamble and have a look to see if there's anybody else that we want to be playing. Maybe this could be the time we go for a goalkeeper. I have just realised last season we also locked in 5 players. So ignore the bit that I said this is the maximum amount of players. Last season was also the maximum amount of players. So this is what we had locked in last season. It was Rick van Haren as our right back, the 17-year-old right back. Obviously looks pretty good. We've got Garda Thomason, the 19-year-old Icelandic defender. He's good. We just know he's good. At some point he's going to leave. We've got Kevin Eugenia, the 16-year-old defensive midfielder with a wicked moustache. I don't know what's going on with the moustaches at the moment in FM26, but everyone seems to have them. Christian Lundqvist, the attacking midfielder. He's obviously also locked in. And then we finally have Andrew Beekman, who might be too old. He's not. He's got 1 more season left in him. If he was 21 at this point, we would not be able to lock him in. Because he's 20, we can still lock him in for 1 more season. If we want to, we don't have to. We could decide, you know what, we're going to just get you rid of you out of the squad. Or he might just leave. Because he is unhappy, he wants to move to a stronger squad. He's also on £1,700 a week, which is, for a player of his quality, he needs a better agent. It is obviously a brand new season as well, and we are not in control of transfers or contracts or anything like that. And we've already done a bit of transfer business. I'm going to assume, I have no idea about who this guy is. I'm going to assume a 20-year-old central midfielder who we didn't need. He's a 20-year-old centre-back who, I mean, there's maybe some potential there. I mean, we still don't need him, do we? And we have also managed to sell this man here. Andrew has moved on to Fortuna Sittard. Fair enough. Nothing too exciting has taken place as of yet. Financially, I think we're not in a terrible place anymore, are we? We've got negative £641,000 to spend. We're not in a good place financially. Fair enough. Right, we are going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window. We'll talk about any transfers that take place, and then we'll lock in our 5 players for the season. Yannick, I'm looking at you, bud. It might be your season. First of all then, transfers. Let's just quickly jump back to see whether there is anything. Let's sort by date, because sometimes it does things a little bit silly. Also sort that one by date, do it that way round. There we go. So we've also got rid of a whole bunch of new people. I see. Got rid of new people, got rid of old people. Let's have a look at Martson. One of our players who've come from our youth intake has moved on, but he's one of our many really good goalkeepers, so I'm not too concerned about that one. Joining the club then, we have got this man who is a Curacao right winger called Maria. We have Nicholas Vesterland, who is a 31-year-old right back. We've got Kwame Mensah, who is a central midfielder, one for the future who's not going to be good enough for the future. We've also got the Ivorian Makan Akayo, who for some reason name is not there. I don't know why his whole name isn't appearing. And we've also got Mamadou Diakon. So nothing too exciting there really joining the club. I think Diakon's probably quite a good player, but he's on loan, so it doesn't really matter to us at all. Was he last season? Did we have him last season? We did. That's why I recognise his name. I was there going like, I swear I've recorded this season before. No, I haven't recorded this season before. It's just the same player has rejoined the club. We have got rid of Mike Geller. He's gone on loan to SV Horn for the season and then immediately got injured. So one of our young right backs. We've also got Amit Akin, who's moved to Feyenoord for £950,000. Let's hope that's not a bad thing. The 18-year-old has moved to Feyenoord for a fair amount of money, nearly £1 million. I mean, obviously, he's not going to play for us anymore, but could be a concern. We've also managed to sell this man for a bit of money, but by the looks of him, I don't think he was going to play a huge amount of football anyway. So, from a squad perspective, we are not going to go with a goalkeeper this season for 2 reasons. First of all, I don't want to risk it. And secondly, I completely forgot about Honor de Jong. Honor de Jong, who came through our youth intake last season, is good. And he is 16 years of age. He's wanted, but I think it's only on loan, so Valwijk and Venlo want him on loan. Honor de Jong is going to be our leading striker. We are sticking with Rick van Haren as our right back. Now 17 years of age. We are sticking with Gala Thomason, who is now 19 years of age. I mean, there was this age when we looked just a minute ago, but obviously we're sticking with Thomason. We are sticking with Eugenia as well, and we are going to be sticking with Christian Lundqvist as our attacking midfielder. You'll notice, obviously, one player has left, but he was going to play anyway, right? So Andrew Beekman's going to be getting into the squad anyway. I'm not too fussed that he's not locked in. I think it'd probably be quite handy to get a bit of rotation out of Beekman, because he's basically played solidly for ever since he's existed in the game, to be honest. The season has kicked off. Obviously, we've only played 4 matches, but we have won 3 of those 4, beating Excelsior 3-2, beating Go Ahead Eagles 3-1, beating NEC 2-0, and we have lost against Feyenoord. So basically, without being too harsh, we've beaten teams that you would hope we would be able to beat: the Excelsiors, Go Ahead Eagles, and your NECs, and we've lost against Feyenoord. We'll probably lose against Ajax, Heerenveen, PSV. So let's not read too much into it, as we are currently sat 3rd place in the table. We are certainly not finishing in 3rd place. I have just seen as well, Honor de Jong has scored his first goal for the club. Should we have a look at it? So it was against NEC by the looks of it. I have just seen not only did he score a goal, he also got the assist for the second, and he was assisted in this one by Lundqvist, if I'm not mistaken. So it is a throw on the right-hand side to, I'm going to assume, NEC. I'm assuming we are definitely in the orange. As you can see, Kevin Eugenia's name. Lundqvist is there, doesn't get on the end of it. Eugenia heads down to Andrew Beekman with his injury. Lundqvist collects it, lumps it upfield. Honor de Jong in on goal. The youngster, all he has to do is tuck it past the goalkeeper, and he does so. We're going to have a look at the second goal as well to watch Honor de Jong get himself a lovely assist as well. So I think we're about 60-odd minutes in. Honor de Jong has the ball on the right-hand side, plays it on the ground to Ohlers. Ohlers makes it 2-0. So Honor de Jong gets in the mixer, gets in the business, gets himself some goals and gets himself some assists. Obviously, he's still only a little baby boy at 16 or 17 years of age. I'm hoping he can get double figures for the season. That doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm hoping he should be able to get double figures. If he can get 15, if he can get even close to 20, would be amazing. We are not going to be finishing in third. We're going to be finishing about 11th or 12th. So let's not read too much into our league position right now. I do want to check the finances. So we do have a bit more money to spend. I imagine the board have just kind of reallocated some funds to transfers. So it's not because we've sold anybody at all. And we obviously only have 2 competitions that we are in, with FC Volendam, the Eredivisie, and the KNVB Beker competition that my brain was telling me we won. Did I make that up? I feel like we won this competition, or am I getting confused with a completely different save? Which is almost certainly a thing that's happening. Anyway, let's jump forward then to youth intake day. We'll obviously see transfers that have taken place through January, because we are not in control of them, but the January transfer window will happen. I'll have a look at the decent players that have come through as well, so hopefully we get ourselves a couple of decent ones, because I am starting to get a bit concerned. If we have a look at our squad and our first team, and we sort by funny names, we've got, there's a lot of people in it, okay? Let's be honest, there's a lot of people in it, but the starred players here, or the plus stars, are the ones that I think are really good. And they're dwindling. They're starting to dwindle, and I feel like some of these are going to be leaving. Honor de Jong, still only one of them on loan, but we've got some players like Beekman. We're not going to be able to select him next season. So Beekman is out of the question. I feel like someone like Kolarich has been around for a while as well. Maybe not. So Kolarich is still knocking about, but we might start losing some of these people. We could do with a decent intake again, okay? First of all, before we start talking about transfers, youth intakes and all that kind of fun, cool, fancy stuff, we are currently sat 7th place in the table, which is actually pretty good considering our form is absolutely appalling. If we weren't that bad, we might have been like 5th before that nonsense just took place. I don't know what's happened. My worry is we've lost, like, maybe Thomason's gone, so we just can't defend. I don't know. So Honor de Jong is injured. Is that a problem? He's got a twisted ankle. That's not a problem. And obviously everyone's still there. We've still got 5 players locked in. So we didn't lose any of the main 5 people in the squad. Rick van Haren's wanted by Chelsea. Well, he's probably off in the summer then. Right, let's take a look then at the January transfers that took place. So just one man joined the club. Bram van Sieters is the man, the 20-year-old Netherlands left winger that we didn't need. Has cost us. We spent £30,000 on this man. We spent £30,000 on this man. We didn't need him. Why have we done that? And we have also sold... Who have we sold? So we've sold this man here. I'm just going to call him Demose. The central defender has moved over to Fortuna Sittard for not a lot of money. The 18-year-old obviously never has played for us. He looks all right. I don't think we're going to miss him too much. But it's always a worry when you do these kind of saves that sometimes some of these players get really good when they leave you. And I'm not in control of transfer, so I didn't choose to do that. Amateur Kin's a worry, because he's gone to Feyenoord. I don't think he's played with them yet, has he? But for nearly £1 million, they clearly see something in him. Let's look at the new people then, shall we? We have had another decent intake. I don't think this is technically Golden Generation, but I think it's like another elite intake. We've got 2 elite prospects we will come to in a minute. We've got a bunch of good prospects, which we're not going to look at. We've also got some decent ones we're also not going to look at, but we will take a look at, starting here, we have Tunahan, I'm going to call him Tunahan. I'm pretty sure he is part Turkish, if I'm not mistaken. There you go, second nationality of Turkish. He was born in the Netherlands, though, so he's a Dutch birth citizen. 15-year-old left winger, doesn't look anything particularly too exciting, does he? 1-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. Not seeing it, to be honest. We now have Max Nyland, the attacking midfielder. 1-star, 3.5-star potential ability. Again, much like the last guy, I'm not seeing it. It could get better. Obviously, he's only 15, so plenty of time to go for Max. We've also got Amir Leklar, who is a left and right winger. He's a left winger by trade predominantly, but can also play on the right. 1-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. Probably of all of them, he's the best one, and he's still not particularly great, is he? We then have Erwin de Kruik, who is a central defender, 1.5-star current ability, 4-star potential, starting to move into the realms of people that could get good, I think. I'm not too convinced he will get good, but he could get good. The 15-year-old central defender will be 16, actually, before the start of the season. He's all right. He's nothing special. Lots of 8s, lots of 9s and 8s. Mentally, the determination is quite nice. The aggression, obviously, is okay, but he's not got like the work rate and all that bobbins that you kind of need to really drag you through some matches. So far, of the 4 players we've had a look at, don't think anyone's particularly any good. We've got Dennis van Loon next up, who is a Netherlands striker, 16 years of age. He's got 14 finishing. He's got some decent flair, but determination, not the best. Work rate, not the best. It's his mental numbers that I think are letting this lad down. He could be good. He's played once and scored a goal, apparently, so that's obviously a good sign, but I'm not seeing it. I think of all of them, though, he is probably the best one. When you look at his mental numbers, he's got some okay numbers. Still not good, though. 10 determination, 7 work rate. It's not amazing, is it? But I'm hoping we can be redeemed with our 2 elite prospects. We have Youssef Hamdi, who is a defensive midfielder, 1.5-star current ability as a halfback, 5-star potential. Mentally, we've got some numbers. We're finally getting, not amazing numbers still, but we've got some better numbers. 13 decisions, 17 bravery. I'm assuming that looks good. I assume that's a good thing to have. Technically not horrific, not amazing by any means, but he could be good. And he's a defensive midfielder, which is a position that I always struggle with in Football Manager at the moment. I can find central midfielders or centre backs. I can't find defensive midfielders. So the fact that we're getting some through naturally through our youth intakes is really quite helpful. And finally, we have Willem Broekman, who I think is probably the best of our youth intake, the central midfielder. So we probably need to retrain him to be something a little bit more useful. But Broekman, I think, could be pretty good. 1.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. But what I like about him is his mental numbers are a little bit on the good side. No, not amazing, but they're better than all the other ones. I mean, the teamwork obviously is the standout number there, but determination, work rate, those are kind of the 3 big ones that I have a look at. Like 11 and 12 is not amazing. Teamwork is the one that's going to hopefully drag him through. Natural fitness also of 16, pretty useful. Don't know what position to train him as, though, because obviously I don't think we play central midfielders. We play defensive or attacking or wingers. We're going to have to pick something for you, right? I think when you look at our squad, I think probably the attacking midfield role might be the one that might suit him best. Obviously, we don't need to worry too much about that now. I don't think we're going to be looking at any of those players that have come through this youth intake as being close to being in the starting 11 anytime soon, but you never know. In 2 or 3 seasons time we might need to look at Broekman, for example, and go, we have to play somebody because we are running out of people who are good enough to play for us, and obviously the good ones have either left or have got too old, all that kind of fun, fancy, cool stuff. But we are sticking with the same 5 players that we have locked in. I've just seen Lundqvist got 12 goals. We've got 7 for Honor de Jong. I would have liked a bit more than 7, if I'm honest. I do want to check. It doesn't look like we're in the cup anymore, does it? We got knocked out in the first round. In the first round. I mean, it was Vitesse, to be fair. It was Vitesse on penalties, not ideal. It was a 95th minute equaliser. Senna Vesterveld. Are you related to my goalkeeper? Somebody please help me. I mean, he's a Vesterveld, right? Our goalkeeper is Sem Vesterveld, which I've been informed through the comments is Sander Vesterveld's, I said brother, son. Are they related? I mean, he's got no favoured personnel, so if they are related, they hate each other apparently. But yeah, anyway, doesn't really matter. I'm getting stuck in a Sander Vesterveld just rabbit hole right now for some reason. Anyway, so far this season, it's not gone amazingly well. It's not gone badly. Obviously, we're doing all right in the league. Let's jump forward then to the end of the season, see where we can finish off. It would be nice. It would be really nice if we could get close to Europe. We are 12 points behind Utrecht. I don't think we're getting in Europe, right? I mean, depending on who wins the cup, it might drop down to 5th. We're still 9 points off of that. We're not getting Europe. I'd love to get Europe or just win the KNVB Beker, whatever it's called, at some point with Volendam. We'll have to wait and see. Let's jump forward to the end of the season, see how Season 6 finishes. 8th place. We finished 8th place in the table. 49 points on the board. Champions League or European places, did drop down to 5th. There is no Europa Conference League. Oh, that's because there's a playoff, isn't there? European places playoff, which we were in. So, okay, how did I forget that was a thing? So, yeah, European places playoff, we were in that, but we got knocked out immediately by Fortuna Sittard, and then it was eventually won by Fortuna Sittard. But finishing 8th, 8th is not horrendous. Couple of victories here or there could have pushed us into 6th place, nowhere near the top 5. So we've kind of got a bit of an elite 5 currently going on in the Netherlands, and we are in the next batch of teams, which admittedly does include pretty much everyone. No, it doesn't. Heerenveen, Sittard, Volendam, NAC Breda, and Zwolle. Everyone else is then this kind of like relegation-ish scrap thing going on. So looking at the players then that we had locked in, let's start from our right back, shall we? Rick van Haren, now 18 years of age, still wanted by Chelsea. I assume he is still wanted by Chelsea. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. He's good. He is almost certainly off in the summer, which is fine. Okay, it's fine. This is kind of part of what you do, or what I do this save for, is I want these players to leave. And I want them to go on and have ridiculously good careers, which in fact I think at the end of this kind of season, I will take a look at some of the players who have left. I know there's not many, but we'll have a look to see where they've gone on to. We've also got Garda Thomason, the central defender from Iceland. He's just good at football, isn't he? He's on £3,500 a week. You need a new agent as well. Just the 1 assist for Thomason. I didn't actually check how many assists did Rick van Haren get. He got 2 goals. 2 goals, 3 assists for Rick. 1 assist for Thomason. Into defensive midfield we go. Kevin Eugenia, 1 goal, 2 assists. Not amazing. He's getting good though. Or is he? Am I just being deceived by the arrows going upwards? But Kevin looks like he's getting better. I don't know why, but I like Kevin. I don't know. There's something about Kevin. I don't think he's going to be world class, but there's something about him. Like, I like you. I don't know why, but I like you. Further up the pitch we go. Christian Lundqvist is next up, the attacking midfielder, who also plays as a striker, by the way, a position which he's completely incompetent at. We have got Christian Lundqvist, who he's 13 goals, 6 assists, 7.1 rating in the league, knocked down slightly over the season because of the 1 poor performance in the FA Cup. Lundqvist is good. He's not amazing, but he does the job. And finally, Onno de Jong did break double figures, but only just 10 goals for the season for the now 17-year-old. 32 appearances, an XG of 12, so he underperformed, but not by a huge amount. His average rating is poor, isn't it? 6.68 average rating over 32 appearances. If we had a goal scorer, or if Onno de Jong was actually half decent at football, maybe we might have actually got into Europe this season. But that's not really the objective of these saves. These saves, the objective is to develop the players, to turn them into decent footballers, to sell them, and then to see what happens to their careers. So, with that in mind, can we find some of these players who have left? Probably an easier way of doing this, right? If I just do that, and I can just search for results. I feel like I should have added these to a shortlist. So we've got Omar and Bingo. I feel like more have left. So he's obviously gone to Juventus. He is playing-ish. He's played once, starts, 7 off the bench, 1 goal and 1 assist. He's mostly playing for the next gen. Got 3 goals. So I do want to take a look at some of the other players as well. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just have a look at our first team and we'll have a look at these people that we haven't seen. So we'll just start in goal, shall we? So we've got Yannick Fee, or Yannick Fee, I guess, because it's a soft J. I don't know. The 18-year-old goalkeeper. I think next year could be your year, mate. It could happen. 6'5" goalkeeper. He's not amazing, but he's hopefully going to be getting better at football. We then have Samuel Kufor, a left back and somewhat of a left winger. Again, not amazing at the moment. Probably not going to get a huge amount of game time unless we lock him in. We've got Kenzo Broussard, who has played 11 off the bench, 1 start. He's all right, isn't he? You might be our number 1 right back next year. Not because I want you to be, but through kind of force. We've got Davor Kolaric, the 19-year-old Slovenian, who he gets the occasional run out in the squad, and he's never been locked in, but he's had the odd match here or there. He's not horrific, is he? He's not bad at football. Maybe 1 year, Davor. It might need to be next year or the year after. We might lock you in. It might actually happen. And then we finally got Andrew Beekman there, he's just good. He just does the job, doesn't he? 10 goals, 14 assists for old Andy Beekman. We can't lock him in now. Is he still unhappy? He is still unhappy. He wants to move to a better team. Try it. Find somebody who wants to sign you. For £18 million, I can't imagine there's too many clubs. We've also got, actually, when you look here, players that I haven't put the plus against. So we've got, Michael Geller's on loan, but Jaden Borsma has got 29 appearances as a centre-back. He's played a lot of football, which, fair enough, I'm okay with that. We've also got, this guy has played once, Gerald Hendricks has played once. Sure, fair enough. We've got this man here, the definitely not Italian, or the definitely not Dutch Italian man, Cantarini, who has played once and a couple off the bench, or 3 off the bench, and got a couple of assists as well, which is quite nice. Christian Povelson as well, has got 1 start, 5 off the bench as a left back. So we are getting some players coming through. If we jump to our B team as well, we've got some people in here who aren't really doing a huge amount, and then obviously in our under-19s, got a whole bunch of people, masses of people in our under-19s. We've also got then Hamdi And Brookman as well, obviously sat in their under-19s who came through this season's youth intake. So I think so far, for our Volendam side, obviously there's nothing to really write home about, but we've had some really good players come through, and most of them, if not all of them, apart from Mbinga, are still at the club. There is going to be an eventual exodus, and I'm pretty sure this summer might be part of that exodus, because I feel like old Rick, the right back, that's right, the 17-year-old right back, might leave the club and go off to Chelsea. We might lose a couple of others as well, but I think we've got a good team. Just a shame we can't win anything. It is now Season 7 of our Youth Development Challenge with FC Volendam in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands. This is a Youth Development Challenge, which means we need to make sure that we are locking in, because it is Season 7, 5 players who have come through our youth intake over the last few seasons, and those players cannot be over the age of 21, which means Andrew Beekman here, who has been locked in pretty much since the day he existed in the game, will not be able to play for us, or not be able to be locked in for us for this season. The other thing as well that we need to mention is we are not in control of transfers, which if you have got some good eyesight, you'll see a transfer there at the very bottom of the transfers out list, which is something that we didn't really want to happen. Just 2 days ago, in-game, Kenzo Broussard, the 18-year-old right-back who has played a couple of seasons, I think, for us, and a season out, one season, and then went out on loan, didn't he? I remember that. He's moved over to Liverpool for £10.25 million. I don't do transfers in this save. I wouldn't have sold him for that little, and if we did sell him for that little, hopefully we did have a sell-on clause. I will check in a minute, actually, to see whether we do have any sell-on clauses. Other transfers that have taken place, I don't think there's anything particularly too exciting. We've got Christian Brandt here, who's gone to Roda JC, and young 18-year-old Austrian defensive midfielder, £120,000, so it could be something there. I'm not too convinced, if I'm perfectly honest. Joining the club, we have got 2 players so far, both of them on free transfers. We've got Patrick Boss, who's a 20-year-old left winger, who's never going to play for us. And then we also have Rico Schaap, who is a 20-year-old left winger, who's never going to play for us. Why have we bought 2 20-year-old left wingers for some reason? I think next time we do a Youth Development Challenge, I might need to do some transfers. Or at least stop them doing this nonsense. If we have a look here then at our squad initially, obviously it's the 1st of July, so nothing's really happened just yet, so things could change. This is what I'm thinking we're going to lock in. So Rick Van Haren and Garda Thomason in defence. Defensive midfielder of Kevin Eugenia. We're going to have Christian Lundqvist as that attacking midfielder with Onno de Jong leading the lines, but as this is the start of a new season, we have got some bids into Rick Van Haren. He's probably going to Chelsea, isn't he? Kevin is just unhappy. That's fine. No one else. Or we've got Onno as wanted by Camber on loan. So that one might happen. They might just loan him out, But Rick's probably gone. So we might not be having 2 defenders playing. So we might need to find somebody who can come in and fill a gap. We're going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window, see what transfer business has taken place. And I guess the key thing is see who's left the club. Quite a few things have happened. Colin van Bergen, first of all, player that you've probably never heard of or seen, he has left, gone to Fortuna Sittard, but he's gone for £1 million. That's quite a lot of money. Rick Van Haren also did move over to Chelsea for that £9.75 million, which is, it's not ideal. Problem is, he wasn't the only player who was in our starting 11 who's moved on. Christian Lundqvist has moved over to Juventus for £5.25 million. Not ideal. Oh, and Kevin Eugenia has also moved on to PSG for £5 million. We've lost 3, arguably 4 players who were in our starting 11 like last season. We are going to have a whole new look squad, which means some of you might have already worked out what's going to happen. It could be Yannick's time. It could be Yannick Fee's time to be our number 1 goalkeeper. He's not good enough, but he's just going to have to learn. So I'm not going to go through all of the transfers that have taken place because, to be honest, we don't really care. We only care about the players who are still at the club and players who are hopefully going to be turning into really good footballers. So Yannick Fee will be in goal. In defence, Davor Kolaric will be playing, the 19-year-old Slovenian who has played a few times over the seasons. We've never locked him in, but he keeps coming off the bench. So I thought, you know what, let's give him some game time. Problem is, he's now wanted on loan, so he might actually go on loan in January, which won't be ideal. He is also only 19, so we've got 2 seasons, maybe, possibly even 3 seasons left out of Kolaric. Alongside Kolaric is going to be Garda Thomason, the mainstay in that defence. He's really, really good. The fact that he hasn't left yet kind of surprises me because I feel like he is much better than our team. But he's still here. He's quite happy. He is unhappy with my treatment of somebody, but fair enough. But he's really good. He's still playing. He's probably not going to be able to be locked in next year, though, is he? Player number 4, and a new face joining the list of players locked in, is Ruangeli Albertus. Sure, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel right now. A lot of our really good players have left. So we're on players who don't even have pluses next to their name now. We have got a 4.5-star potential defensive midfielder from the Netherlands who is going to be locked in for the season. I'm hoping he's okay. I've just taken a punt on him. He's got quite high potential. He is wanted by PSV. So, maybe they know something we don't know. And then leading the line like we had last season is going to be Onno de Jong. He has already started the season quite well. 2 goals, 1 assist in 3 appearances. He is wanted as well, but on loan by Dordrecht. So that is probably not going to be happening. So those are the 5 players locked in. This season has started off okay. We have won twice, beating Groningen and beating Emmen. So it was Ola scoring the goal there. Onno de Jong scoring a couple by the looks of it against FC Emmen, but then getting absolutely smashed by Excelsior in what would be Christian Lundqvist's last game and last goal for the club. Because obviously we've done all of these transfers, I'm interested to see what our financial situation is like. It's only 27 million. That's not that high. I mean, it's pretty high. We've got £22 million of a transfer budget to spend, and have we got any good clauses? It's not really something that I've paid too much attention to. So we've got Amit Akin, we've got a clause there, we've got Christian Brandt's got a clause. It's the ones with the pluses. If there's any plus clauses, so Broussard, we have got a 40% sell-on, or profit sell-on. Kevin, we've got a 20% sell-on there, and we get a friendly, that's nice. Christian, we have got, what have we got here? Have we got a sell-on? We don't, we've got a 20% sell-on on Christian as well. Omar and Binga, we have got a 20% sell-on, which we can get for 875. I mean, not really a lot. Rick Van Haren, we've got a 40% sell-on there. So we do have some clauses. That's one good thing. They're not the best clauses, not amazing. 20% of a profit on a high value, not ideal, but it is a clause nonetheless. Next thing we're going to do then is we're going to jump forward to the next youth intake. And we really need a good one because our squad, if we have a very quick look here, our squad is, it's not low on players. We still have quite a lot of players here. But when you factor in, we've got these people here who are now technically too old to be locked into the squad. We're not in a good way. All the players highlighted, the best one is Garda Thomason. And that's it. And then we've got Jaden Borsma, who arguably we should have locked him in ahead of Coleridge. But we're going to go with Coleridge because I want Coleridge to get better. Borsma won't be able to play next season. And whilst we're talking about next season, if I highlight or unhighlight people who are 20, that is what we are left with. It's not a lot. We need to start getting some of these like 19-year-olds better at football because 2-star as a left winger is not amazing. It's not bad for a 17-year-old, but we need him at least a 3-star, to be honest. Let's jump forward to the next youth intake and see what we can get. First of all, before we go and take a look at our youth intakes, let's see how well things are going in the league. And we are kind of in a relegation scrap, and by kinda, we are in a relegation scrap. We are currently sat in 13th place on 28 points, but we are just 2 points ahead of 16th place PEC Zwolle, could be what they're called. And obviously, if we drop down into that, did I say 2? 1 point ahead. We are 1 point ahead, and if we obviously drop down into that, then we might be in a relegation playoff at the end of the season. I'm hoping we are good enough to avoid that. I am wondering how much of the contribution of Yannick Fige is actually causing this, because he has played 26 games and conceded 52, which means he has conceded 2 goals a game on average. He's only kept 3 clean sheets. I am going to stick with it, though. I'm going to stick with Yannick Fige in goal until, I was going to say the last season, but I think, actually, he'll be able to do season 8, he'll be able to do season 9, he might not be able to do season 10. He might be fine, though. So I did say earlier that we needed to get ourselves a good youth intake for us this season because we are starting to look pretty slim, and it's not a great one, if I'm perfectly honest. We have got 3 elite prospects, which we will come to in just a moment. We've got 3 top prospects, and then some good ones and some decent ones. The good ones and decent ones, probably not really worth talking about. We will take a look, though, at the top prospects and the elite prospects because, we're kind of in a bad place, I think. We've got Darko Hankic, who is a 15-year-old Bosnian right back. He's got 1-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. Physically looks all right. Mentally doesn't look horrific. Technically doesn't look amazing either, but he's only 15. We've also got 15-year-old Suriname defender Kelvin Penis. It's probably not pronounced penis, but I'm going to call him Kelvin Penis. What I wanted to say was the big 6'3" penis, and then realised that's a terrible thing to say, but we're going to go for it. The big 6'3" Kelvin Penis he doesn't look awful, to be honest. He's got 12 tackling, not amazing, but he is only 15 years of age. Mentally looks alright. Physically looks alright. I say mentally looks right. He doesn't look alright, does he? He's got low determination, so he's unambitious. He's fine. He could be good. I feel like I need to make it clear that he is a fictional 15-year-old. This is not a real 15-year-old person. Another fictional 15-year-old is Ricardo Martins, who is from Belgium. He looks quite good. I don't know. There's something about him. There's something about Martins who I'm quite liking. There's lots of 7s. There's lots of 8s and 9s in his mentals. He's got decent determination and bravery. Natural fitness of 18 as well. Ricardo Martins, we might need to keep an eye on. He's only got 3.5-star potential, 1-star current ability, but I think he's one for the future. Maybe. Moving into the elite prospects, we have Stefanius de Keyser, who is a 15-year-old Belgian goalkeeper. He's 6'4", so he's a big lad, 17 jumping reach as well. Actually doesn't look bad as a goalkeeper when you factor in just the kind of general numbers that you want of the handling, the reflexes, things like that. Mentally also looks pretty good. De Keyser, could be his name. I'm going to keep an eye on you. You might be our goalkeeper for Season 10. I am going to do a quick comparison, actually, with Yannick Fee, if we can find him. I mean, Fee is going to be quite clearly better because he's 3 years older and has played half a season of football. But he's not, like, horrendously better, is he? Like, goalkeeping average, 10 to 9. Mental average, 8 to 7. Physical average, 10 to 7. So, physically, Yannick Fee's much better. But he's also 3 years older, 4 years older. Like, if you had a 15-year-old running against a 19-year-old, the 19-year-old might be faster. They also might be stronger. So, it's fine. Next up, we move into our first of our plus star players, and that is Brahim Tufiki, a 15-year-old Moroccan right-back. He has got some pretty good physical numbers with his acceleration and pace and agility all at 15s. Mentally doesn't look particularly bad. Lots of few 10s, a few 11s, a 12 in bravery and teamwork. And then technically as well, he's all right. 14 tackling, 14 technique. He's more of a fullback than a wing-back. But time can change him into a wing-back if we need him to be. 1.5-star current ability, 5-star potential on Tufiki. Maybe Brahim Tufiki could be our number 1 right-back next season, because I feel like we're going to lose a few more players in the summer. Or the other option as a right-back, and it doesn't really work right now, was Cliff Calcutt, a 16-year-old English right-winger and wing-back, but not a right-back. So he can't play there, but he can play there. He is certainly more attacking footballer, but he's got 2-star current ability, 5-star potential for the 16-year-old Englishman. Physically looks pretty good. Mentally looks all right. Got lots of 9s, a few 7s, a 14 of flair. I'm not sure whether we really need that. And a right back, maybe a right winger, might be a better position for him. Work rate at 12 is pretty good as well. Technically, also doesn't look particularly bad. Can't header, can't take long shots or mark or tackle very well. But actually everything else is pretty good. He can also take a reasonable free kick of 10. And a reasonable penalty. Most people don't have 6 penalty taken. From what I can tell, 4 penalty taken is a reasonable number. 6 is amazing. So Clifford is the other player that I'm obviously earmarking as a plus star player. I am interested. Where were you born? You are from England, but where were you actually born? How do we find this out? It's that one there, isn't it? Is it that one? It's not that one. There's one of these that we can find out. Nationality is English. It's surely that one there, right? He was born on the Isle of Portland. Now, what's funny about that is that's probably about a 45-minute drive from where I live. That's kind of funny. I mean, it's a very small place, the Isle of Portland. How this man ended up playing for Volendam in the Netherlands is kind of weird, but he's also eligible, so he's been here for a while. Maybe his family just moved over to the Netherlands, like back in 2020, I don't know, during COVID apparently. So that was our youth intake for the season. It's not the best, but I think Cliff and Brahim are ones to keep an eye out on. I think De Keyser as well. I think Martins might also be pretty good. So I'm happy. I'm not over the moon. I'm not ecstatic with what we've got, but we have obviously made our team slightly better. I have just realised as well, we obviously do have the KMVB Beaker competition that we have not made it to the final, which is Go Ahead Eagles versus AZ Alkmaar. Where did we get to? I'm going to assume got knocked. Oh my word, really? We got knocked out by Kozaken boys. Who are Kozaken boys? They're a regional amateur side, and we lost them on penalties. That is horrendously bad. A 2-2 draw as well. Sorry, I need to check this. Oh my word. I mean, I can see why we're struggling. We've not won a game since the 7th of December. It's the 12th of April. We need to win some of these games, otherwise we are almost certainly getting relegated. We started off not awful. Okay, not amazing, let's be honest. I mean, we started off actually really good with 2 wins. But then it kind of all fell apart. 2 5-1 defeats in a row. It's not gone well, has it? There is a distinct possibility that we get sacked. The good thing is, I will show you now the club vision. The board, they're not happy, obviously. But the board, basically, because we haven't really improved Volendam as a squad and as a club, they're not expecting me to qualify for Europe. they're still expecting me to be in a relegation scrap and avoid a relegation scrap. So actually, whilst that is a C-, most of that I think is probably linked to, so they want us to stay clear of a relegation scrap. We are in a relegation scrap, so that's why. If we can get a few more wins under our belt, we're not going to be in any trouble about getting sacked, hopefully. The last thing I want to check then, have we brought in anyone or sold anyone of use? We've actually spent £2.2 million on Lequincio Zifuik, a 27-year-old Dutch striker. It's quite a lot of money, considering he's not playing because we play Honor de Jong. This is the problem as well, where I don't do transfers. Because I've locked in a striker, they'll go, yeah, but he's not good enough, so we'll buy a better one. And then the better one never gets any game time. Players leaving the club, I don't think anyone has left through January. So we've lost Hans Priem to Fortuna Sittard. Is he any good? He's not playing for them, so clearly not very good. And also this man's gone to FC Twente. I am interested. Lundqvist has played 30 games. Surely for the B team, the next gen. Yeah, so he's played 30 games in Series C-A. Or Series C/A, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, he's not getting any game time. I will take a look at the end of the season just to see some of the other players as well that have left, see if they've actually managed to do anything. I imagine most of them haven't done a single thing at the moment. Let's jump forward then to the end of the season. Hopefully we still have a job. Hopefully we are still in the Eredivisie. And then, we'll take a look to see how well our players have done. And obviously see any of the people who've left as well. So in the end, we managed to finish in 12th place. Not amazing, but not bad, really, when you consider we were basically 1 point away from a relegation scrap. We've managed to claw ourselves away from that. By the looks of it, 2 wins and 2 draws in the final few games of the season. So we have saved our job, I assume. We have saved our job. We've gone backwards. We've certainly gone backwards, considering I think last season it's still Football Manager, isn't it? It's not working. Anyway, I think last season we actually almost got into Europe, if I'm not mistaken. We're a fair few points away from getting into Europe at this point. And I will take a look at the players locked in then and see whether they were kind of contributing factors. So Yannick Fee obviously played a lot, 31 games, 57 goals conceded. So actually only conceded 5 more goals between the last time we checked in and the end of the season. He is not awful. He's not awful. He is getting better. He does need more game time. He needs to get better at football in general. But this is kind of the point of these saves. I don't want him to be a superb goalkeeper. There's no point in me playing really, really good, amazing 19-year-old goalkeepers that have come through our youth intakes. I want to play the bad ones and turn them good. And I'm not saying Fee is bad goalkeeper, by the way. I'm just saying that he needs to develop. He needs game time to develop, so this is what we're doing. Davor Koloritz, who has played his first full season, by the looks of it, 31 games, no goals, couple of matches as well in the cup and no goals in that. So, I mean, nothing really to write home about on his first proper season. He's now played 40 games for us. He's also wanted by Roda JC. That could happen. If they offer like £10 million, he's definitely leaving. Someone I'm still surprised is at the club is Garda Thomason, now 21. So we have seen the last time that Thomason has been locked into the starting 11. He's done all right, 3 goals for us this season. He's also wanted by Sharjah FC in Kuwait, I believe. Is that where Sharjah is? In the UAE. Fair enough. Why? Okay, I mean, if you're ever going to go anywhere, that's where you go, particularly if you're worth £30 million. That's a good amount of money to take from mentally. He's so good. Garda Thomason is I think, in my opinion, he is the best player to come for our youth intake, and the fact that he's still here makes it even better. One of the few players who gets into our starting 11 who doesn't have a plus next to his name, just the star, is Ruangeli, could be his name, Albertus, the now 17-year-old, I'd say now, he'll be 18 very, very soon. He's wanted by PSV, so there's something there. There is definitely something there. That's good. I backed the right horse on this one. So Albertus played 29 league games, 2 in the cup, 1 goal to his name as well. For a defensive midfielder, that's actually not awful, is it, to get a goal? I'm not expecting him to be scoring goals. This is the man I'm expecting to be scoring goals, and he's got 12. He's going up. He's certainly getting better at football. Honor de Jong has 12 league goals, just the 3 assists. His XG, though, was at 9, so he's actually outscored his XG by 3. He likes to place his shots and tries first-time shots. Is that a problem? I'm not controlling these, so that could be a problem. He's also a mercenary. I don't think that's really going to be an issue for us. I think he'll be quite happy to stay here as long as he's getting football. So those are all the players that were locked in. If we just jump to selection info, and we will do that. Actually, we'll click that one there. So we'll go down and see anyone who actually got some game time. And by the looks of it, people with stars next to their name. So we'll also look at players who are technically overage. So Borsma, I think, might be overage. We've got a lot of people. Obviously, Beekman got a fair amount of game time as well. So we're going to start with Andrew Beekman. 23 appearances, 7 goals, 7 assists. He's still good at football. Is he wanted? Of course he's wanted. He's wanted by Monterrey in Mexico? Is it that? I wanted to say Canada. It's not Canada, is it? It's Mexico. Yeah, so he might be off to Mexico in the summer. Fair enough. I was expecting you to stay here forever. But yeah, if you go to Mexico, good job. We've also got Deniz, the 22-year-old Turkish defensive midfielder. He's obviously too old to be locked into the squad. He's come off the bench once. Got a 7 rating for it. Fair enough. I am going to take a look at Michael Geller as well, though he's not at our club. He's out on loan at Heracles. He's playing a lot of football. 22 starts, 1 goal, 1 assist to his name. He's actually played for 3 different clubs now. So SV Horn last season, and then Heracles this season. He's not awful, is he? He's not awful at all. We've also got Jaden Borsma. Loves the sub appearance. 3 starts, 26 off the bench, 2 off the bench as well in the cup. He's good. He's just good. I think someone said in the comments that we need to keep an eye on this guy. I agree. We probably should have kept an eye on this guy about 4 seasons ago because, he's just doing the business. He's got 60 appearances for a player who's never been locked in. That's quite impressive. I will say as well with Borsma, we have another Borsma who's rubbish, and I keep getting them confused, which is why I forget this man exists. I think he's awful. That's his brother. It's not his brother. It's his namesake. Gerald Hendricks comes off the bench once, the 20-year-old Dutch striker. He's good. He's just like 3rd or 4th on the pecking list, so he's just not going to get any game time, is he? We've also got Filippo Cantarini, who is a 17-year-old. 17-year-old left winger, Dutch and Italian, if I'm not mistaken. He's wanted by PSV, so there's something there. Cantarini might be starting next season because I think, obviously, we lose Garda Thomason. So we do need to replace at least one player. And then, obviously, if there are any other players that leave during the summer as well. So Cantarini could be on that list. Also, for a 17-year-old, that is an amazing moustache. And the final player to actually get some game time is Christopher Povelsen, the 19-year-old Danish left-back. 7 appearances for the club. All of them, I assume, off the subs bench. No, 1 start he's had so far. I mean, he's all right, isn't he? Certainly one for the future. He's all right, yeah. I mean, what more can we say about him? So, we've not done well, if I'm honest. We have not done well at all, have we? We've been knocked out of the cup very early on. We've finished in the bottom half of the table, narrowly avoiding a relegation scrap. Can we look at is that the one we want to have a look at? Performance feedback? They're happy with it. They're happy. So, the objectives is finish mid-table, which is fine. We did finish mid-table, sort of. So, I'm okay with that. So, this is what I mean by the board don't really care if we're in a relegation scrap or challenging for Europe. They're just happy to stay in the league. So as long as we do that, we just stay in the league. Also, my contract's up very soon. Don't worry, we will definitely sign a new one. So the last thing I would like to do is take a look at some of the players who have left us recently. So we have got Omar Mbinga, who has played some Serie A games. He has finally played some games for Juve in Serie A. 8 last season, 10 this season. He got a goal last season and an assist in both seasons. So Mbinga, he looks pretty good. He's got no Netherlands caps, but is that because of Football Manager and he's not allowed because they don't have the rights for the Netherlands team? Can we find out? No, they definitely have the rights to the Netherlands team. So yeah, maybe one day he will get called up to that squad. We've also got Amit Akin, who is a player that went to Feyenoord. He's not played for their first team, but he went for a reasonable amount of money. So I want to keep an eye on him. We need to jump back a couple of seasons, or maybe that season there. Anyone else of interest? Rick Van Haren, there we go. Has he played for Chelsea? No, he's not. He's played 6 UEFA under-21 qualifiers. Fair enough. I mean, the fact that he's gone to Chelsea is quite good, I think. Like he'll eventually get some game time. We have also got Kevin Eugenio, went to PSG, hasn't played for the first team at all. He's actually sat in the under-19s. He's played twice for the PSG 2, and got an 8.45 rating. I don't know what he did across those 2 games. He must have got like a 10 in one of them. And then we also have Kevin Lundqvist, who's played 35 games for Juventus Next Gen. So he's good. He is loan listed. We could loan him. I mean, we're not doing transfers, so we probably won't. But we could. If we were doing transfers, we could go, you know what, come back. And technically, my rules say that I could play him next season because he would be 21 by the time the transfer window ends. We could have loaned him last year. I think that's all of the big names. Colin Van Bergen actually will take a look, £1 million. He went off to Fortuna Sittard, but he's not actually played any time for them. So, season 7's in the bag. It wasn't a good season. We got a few players. We did bring in a lot of money. We've sold some big name players. But Season 8, I worry we're going to be in a relegation scrap and we might get sacked. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to, right? It's now Season 8 of our Youth Development Challenge with FC Volendam in the Netherlands, and last season we almost got relegated and we got knocked out of the cup by an amateur side on penalties in the second round. I would like to see an improvement this season. The problem is this season we've got a few players who are very, very good at football who are going to be too old to be locked in. So we have a rule which means we can't lock in players who are over the age of 21 come the end of the transfer window. We obviously have to lock in 5 players as well that have come through our youth intake, which means Garda Thomason is out. Davor Kolaric, however, is 20, so he's still fine this season, but next season he will also be out. So we have to find at least one player to fill the gap, and luckily right now you can see everyone is on holiday and there is basically no one's wanted, so we can still play these 4 players if we wanted to. We could obviously change things around as well, because we do have some other people who've come through youth intakes who would still actually be able to do a job. So Povelson could get locked in, for example, if you want to, because he is 19. I will just jump to my under-19s as well, just to prove that we do have more than those players kind of listed. We've got, it's all the entire squad, apart from Rob Engel, apparently. Not sure why you're sat there. Which is 43 players who could technically play for us, although you are now too old. I'm not even sure why you're in the under-19s. And as you can see here as well, we've got 4 players at the top of the list who have a plus and a star, and then we have just the stars underneath. The plus stars are the ones who I think will be the best players. The stars are ones who I think will still, might still be good. They might not be good. So some of these people here, I mean, we've got a stupid amount of good goalkeepers by the looks of it. We've got 3 really good goalkeepers there. But we've also got this man here, so Robert Yessi is at 4.5-star potential. Like I said, we've got Lewis Richards, who's got 5-star potential as a goalkeeper. But these are the ones who I think are going to be the best, and they've all got 5-star. Chances are one of these might also be playing this season. Another thing that we do in this save is we don't control our transfers, which is sometimes a bit of a problem. And as you can see here, Andrew Beekman has moved over to Mexico to sign for Monterrey. Yes, he is too old, but he's one of those players that came through our very first youth intake, and he was flagged by myself as a really good footballer. He's now worth nearly 30 to 40 million pounds. He's gone for 13.75, so not an awful amount of money, but that is another player who has left the club. It means, though, I intentionally have left that left wing spot empty because I knew Beekman would be playing. We can now lock somebody in on that left wing if we want to, and then Beekman won't get unhappy because he's no longer here. So maybe that is something we do need to consider for Season 8. Anyway, we are going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window. We'll take a look to see whether anyone else has left the club. We'll see how we have kicked off the season, and then I'll show you the 5 players who are locked in for our final season, for Season 8, in charge of FC Volendam. First of all, 4 games into the season, we have started off reasonably well. We are 7th in the table, 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 defeat to our name, so could be a lot worse when you consider last season. If this actually works, it doesn't work. We finished in 12th. So looking at the transfers then, I'm not going to go through the new signings because basically they don't really matter to us. They are just players who are arguably not going to get a huge amount of game time, but players leaving the club, we don't really have too many either. We have got Javan Artist, who has moved over to Telstar on a permanent deal. The now 22-year-old Suriname right back, never played for us, so not really too concerned about that one. We've also got Gustav Ragnarsson moving on a free transfer. The Swedish central midfielder has gone over to Sandvikens in, I'm going to assume, Sweden. Yep, they are from Sweden, fair enough. But obviously we weren't ever going to play him. He's played 7 times, but I'm pretty sure they are all for this side in Sweden. And no one else. We've got Povelson and Hendricks both going out on loan, which could be good for them to hopefully get themselves a little bit more development. And I will just double check if we go back here. So no one else has left. I'm looking at the wrong order then. I got panicked. I saw some pluses leaving. That was last season. So we've got a few players leaving on free transfers. So Ugwu has gone. This man's gone. This man's gone to Vitesse. Is he any good? He's all right. He's in their first team. Probably not going to play a huge amount, but he is in their first team. FC Twente Heracles Academy have picked up a man. I mean, why are they both at the same academy? I don't know. Mlochwa has gone to Roda JC and is actually playing. That's interesting. And Fernandez has gone to VVV Venlo. So this man's actually playing for... You're on loan. Okay, you've gone on loan to a South African second division side. That would explain why you're playing football. Anyway, that's how things have started this season. The transfers that have taken place. What 5 players have we locked in? So we only needed to do one change, and that was obviously Garda Thomason was now too old, which means we have put in on that left-hand side Filippo Cantarini. Every time I say his name, I can't pronounce it. I want to say Cantanari. That's not what it is. It's Cantarini. We will take a look though. First of all, in goal is Yannick Fee. The now 19-year-old goalkeeper will be 20 come the end of the season, or actually come the 17th of November to be precise. Already, he's played 4 games and conceded 7, so he is keeping up his terrible ability of keeping clean sheets. 0 clean sheets so far after 4 games. Last season, need I remind you, he let in 57 and got 5 clean sheets. He did play a few matches previously and doesn't keep too many clean sheets there either. Although I have just seen he's got a Player of the Match award. He's got 2 of them now in total. In front of Yannick Fee is Davor Kolaric, the 20-year-old Slovenian central defender. This will probably be his last season being able to be locked in to the squad. 4 starts so far, 6.85 average rating. He's good. He's all right, isn't he? He's not going to be anything special. He's not going to be a world-class footballer. I am surprised he's not got any Slovenian caps. In front of Kolaric is Ruangeli Albertus. I'll get there in the end. 18 years of age, now the Dutch defender / defensive midfielder, obviously played last season, gets another bite of the apple in that defensive midfield role. He's good. He's not amazing though. I wish we could replace him. Of all the people we've got on our team, I feel like he is probably the worst of the ones that we've got available. He is wanted, probably on loan. Is top os of the team who are after him is obviously not going to go there. Maybe in January he might, which obviously if that happens then we will need to replace him, which could be a problem because I don't think we've got a huge amount of options to replace him. We might have to play a really good right back that came through last season. The only new player to join the starting 11 is another player who does not have a plus next to his star name. It is Filippo Cantarini. I nearly said Cantanari again. He's a left winger from the Netherlands and Italy. He's worth 5.2 million. Obviously, this was a player who couldn't really play last season, even if we wanted to, because we had Andrew Beekman, but now Beekman's moved over to Mexico to have a lovely time playing for Monterrey. We've now got the opportunity to lock somebody in on that left-hand side, and Cantarini is the man who will be doing that. Problem is, he has literally just picked up an injury, so he's missed already 3 games of the season, and he's still out for another 3 to 5 weeks. I'm tempted to say we should drop him, but 3 to 5 weeks, if he's out for 3 weeks, he'll be back come the end of September, so he's not missing a massive amount of football. And the final player in the starting 11 is Onno de Jong, the striker, 18 years of age. Now 25 goals over his time in the league, at the very least 3 so far this season. 4 league games, 3 goals. Onno de Jong has started off this season really quite well. Season 1 he got 10 goals, Season 2 he got 12, Season 3 he's already got 3 goals. Could we be seeing 20 goals from Onno this season? Everything about him says that he's good at football. Am I just like blinkered by the fact that he's my player, came through my youth intake? Everything about him says he should be really good at football. That just the finishing and first touch there looks really good to me. The heading's kind of irrelevant because he's only 5'11" with 8 jumping reach, so that's not amazing. Technique's really good, mentally really good, physically not superb, but also not awful either. And he's only 18. I have high hopes for Onno. So those are the players that we are locking in for this season. We did have a few other options that we could have gone for. I think right back, not Mike O'Gella, it was the Moroccan, potentially, guy who came through last youth intake. We've also got the opportunity on the right-hand side. It's a guy called Craig Calcutt. If we can find him, I probably can't. But yeah, Craig Calcutt could have been that right winger over Cantarini on that left-hand side. But we're going to go for Cantarini this season. Maybe Season 9 we change it up and we put Calcutt on the right. But obviously Season 9, Kolaric won't be able to be locked in either. So things will change once again. Let's jump forward to the next youth intake. We could do with another good one because we are starting to lose some of our better players. See how well things go in the table. And obviously, I feel like I need to say this every single time now. Hopefully, we've still got a job. 29 games played so far. I think we only played 34, so there's actually only 5 more games to play this season, and we are currently sat 10th place in the table, 41 points, nowhere near a relegation scrap, nowhere near Europe, really? We might be near Europe. I don't know how we know. How do we know what teams get into Europe? There's rules somewhere, isn't there? Where are the rules? Rules are here. So it is 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. So we are close. We could get into a European playoff. So maybe we could have gone from possibly getting relegated to maybe getting Europe the following season. Obviously, time will tell whether that is actually the case. It is youth intake day, or has been recently, but I do want to have a very quick look at the squad and the players who are currently locked in. Nobody is injured. That's obviously very good. We've got Honor de Jong now at 3.5 star current ability. Albertus is wanted by the biggest boys. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City and PSG. Really? I've not got a plus next to you. I feel like I might need to put a plus next to your name, Albertus. I was not expecting you to be particularly good. You will notice, Kufor is now currently locked in as a left back. Because this happened over in January. Yannick Fee, our goalkeeper, has moved over to Juventus to join Omar Mbinga and, was it Fredriksson, the Danish attacking midfielder? This kind of came out of the blue. He hasn't been very good for us. He's kept 2 clean sheets, conceded 34, so keeping up his conceding 2 goals a game thing, as you would expect. And then for £10 million moved over to Juventus. It means that we don't have to play a terrible goalkeeper, which is quite handy, but it also means we do now need to lock in our 5th player, which is going to be, Kufor in that left-back position, which, if we have a very quick look, 19 years of age, Ghanaian left-back. He's not amazing. He's really not amazing. I think he needs some football. He hasn't played much yet. In fact, he's played once off the bench. I don't think he's going to be playing next season. This is kind of a more needs-must situation than actually me wanting to play him. Obviously, being the 11th of April, we have had a youth intake and we've had 4 elite prospects come through, which is very, very helpful because basically we are starting to run low on good players. We've also had 5 top prospects. We've had some good players and 1 decent prospect who's absolutely dog chocolate, isn't he? 1.5 star potential ability there. He's good physically. That is all. He's also got good work rate, actually. I mean, he's not awful. As things go, he's not awful. He just can't play football. Because we've got so many players come through, I'm not going to go through all the top prospects. I will take a very quick look, though, at this man, because he has... Oh, these two, actually. We'll take a look at Abina Samuel, the English right winger, who it doesn't look amazing, but he's got lots of 8s. Lots of 8s, a few 10s in there, and obviously physically looks pretty good. He's 5'2". I don't think... I know we've got some players who are quite small in real life, but 5'2" seems awfully short for a footballer, right? I wonder whether... Now, this isn't me getting all right wing, but I wonder whether women's football being involved might be a cause of that, and it's kind of skewing some of the heights, because you can get 5'2" women playing women's football. We've also got Egi Kaya. It's not his name, but I'm going to call him that anyway. I'm just going to call him Kaya, actually. The Turkish goalkeeper, 1 star current ability, 4.5 star potential. He looks quite good. He's a goalkeeper. We don't need another one, because we do have 4 in our youth team who are actually pretty good. Moving up to the elite prospects, then we have Lay Zafarin, who is a 5'5" attacking midfielder, central midfielder kind of position. He is from the Netherlands, and I feel like with a name like that, he might be Chinese. He's from Togo, not where I would have expected. I don't know why I thought Chinese, but Togo was not where I was going with that one. As a central midfielder, he's all right. He's nothing special. He's got 5-star potential, apparently. I'm not too sure how much I believe that. We've got a left-back in the shape of Simon van Wijk, who physically and mentally looks actually not too bad at all. Technically, maybe he's not great. He is only 15, will be 16 in a couple of months' time, so definitely one for the future. I mean, they're all ones for the future, aren't they? And then we've got the 2 boys who I put stars next to. We're going to start off with Gert Mulder, the 15-year-old left winger, and attacking midfield striker is what they're called. He's not amazing, is he? But I think of all of them, he's kind of in the positions, like that left wing position. I'm tempted you could be replacing Cantonari on that left-hand side, potentially. And then we also have Ivan Stewart, who is a central defender and maybe a defensive midfielder if we feel like it as well. Again, not amazing, but mentally, I think with Stewart, he's got some good numbers there. The determination is good. The teamwork's good. The leadership is good. A potential future Volendam captain, if he wants to stick around. Natural fitness of 16 is obviously good as well. Technically, he's not very good, but he is a 6'4", 15-year-old. I'm not expecting him to be Leo Messi playing as a centre-back. So that's our youth intake. It's not amazing, but we've got a few players. I mean, these are all 5-star players, so they could get good. We've also got some players here who are 4-star potential as well. So we've got some players who could make it into that first team when we have a very quick look at our kind of lineup then. So we've now got Coleridge, we've got Kufor, we've got Albertus, who could be leaving in the summer. We've got Cantarini, and we've got Ono de Jong, who's got 15 goals. Cantarini's got 8, actually. We'll have a quick look at Cantarini. He's getting better at football. He is definitely getting better at football. I wasn't convinced this was a good idea. But right now, looking at this, looking at his goals, his assists, 3 assists not amazing, but looking at his goals, looking at these arrows slightly on the up as well, I'm kind of okay with it. And then Ono de Jong on 15 goals. It's a lot of goals. He's getting there. 14 goals this season in the league in 25 appearances. I have just realised we obviously did lose Yannick Fee, and we're in mid-table. I am starting to think that Yannick Fee might have been the problem last season. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to jump forward now to the end of the season. See if we can finish in mid-table. Maybe we could get into Europe this season. There is a possibility that we could get into Europe. Especially when you consider we actually have Mickey van Sass. I'm not going to lock this in, but Mickey van Sass is technically our number one goal. He's not. He's only played twice. Who's our number one goalkeeper then? I would assume Van Sass would be the old Drommel. Drommel is 36 years of age. He's very good. I'm okay with Drommel being our number one keeper. Maybe season 9 we replace him. It's not a good idea to do that, but he is also 36. Right, let's go forward to the end of the season. European football, please. That would be nice. How frustrating. How frustrating. The European Places Player Final, we get to it and lose 3-0 against Feyenoord. So what happened? We actually did all right, didn't we, in the end? So let's just kind of click around and actually get to the league table. So we finished in 8th. That might be our best finish in a very, very long time, which meant obviously we went into those European Places matches. And then if we have a look at our fixture schedule, which is always in a very awkward place, we lose 3-0. And looking at our match ratings on that right-hand side, Ono de Jong gets a 5.9. We've got Cantarini on a 6.2, or Cantanari. I get it. I will change this. It is Cantarini. I got it right first time. So Cantarini getting a 6.2. We've also got Verbeek on the opposite flank getting a 6.2. Beckers, the attacking midfielder, getting a 6.2. We were just horrendous going forward. Defensively, we weren't amazing either, but Garda Thomason getting his 7.2 is pretty good. Samuel Kafour getting 6.9 as well, the obviously player that got locked in for the latter part of the season. I've just seen as well, Cliff Calcutt and Brahim Tufiki on the subs bench. That's good. I didn't check the cup, by the way, but I just assumed we got knocked out very early on, and we did. It was FC Dordrecht this time around in the second tier of Dutch football, which is not ideal at all. Right then, let's take a look at the squad, see who's done some stuff. So the 5 players locked in. First of all, we will start in central defence with Coleridge, who is now too old to play. He is wanted by Al Ali, so he might be off again in the summer. Anyway, he's got 4 Slovenia caps. He's managed to do that. He's got a 6.78 rating, a goal scored this season. His first ever goal for the club. He's good. He's all right, isn't he? He's not going to be world-class footballer. I think I said that earlier, but he's still pretty good at football. So I'm okay with how Coleridge has done. Samuel Kufor didn't play a lot, just the 6 starts from when he got locked into the squad. Maybe next season, okay? Maybe next season, Samuel, we might see a little bit more of you. Albertus, he's off to Man City in the summer, fair enough. Albertus, you've had a couple of seasons, 35 starts for us this time around in the league. No goals, no assists, nothing too special there, but that's not what he's a centre-back playing in defence midfield. I don't think he's going to be scoring goals for fun. Next up is Cantarini, who has broken double figures, 12 goals, 4 assists on that left-hand side. I wasn't too convinced. At the start of the season, when I locked him in, I wasn't too convinced. He's had a few run-ins in the first team coming off the subs bench. A couple of assists, actually, a couple of seasons ago, but breaking into the first team this time around. And actually, I think he's done very well. A 6.92 average rating, 6.94 in the league, just knocked down by that one poor cup performance by the looks of it. I can't retrospectively put pluses against players' names now, by the way. That was kind of a rule that I've set for myself. So, yeah, we're not going to put them against Albertus and Cantarini. But we do have one against Ono de Jong, now 19. 18 goals in all competitions. Just 1 in the cup, 17 of them coming in the league. I was really hoping for 20 goals from de Jong. He's not quite got there. He's still good at football. Nobody wants him as well. So that's obviously good to see. So hopefully season 9, Ono will be sticking around for at least 1 more year. And maybe next year could be the year that we get ourselves into European football. We will then click selection information and have a look at some people who also got some game time. So Borsma has obviously, he still gets games. 86 appearances he's had for us now. We've never locked him in once. He's nearly pushing 100 appearances. We've got Maiko Geller, who's played a lot as a right back by the looks of it. Spent the last couple of seasons out on loan, breaking into the first team. Again, not locked in, but has come through our youth intake. He is wanted by ADO Den Haag because he's out of contract at the end of the season. Fair enough. Deniz and Tufiki didn't seem to get any game time. Cliff Calcutt came off the bench once by the looks of it in the league. Wasn't on the pitch long enough to get a rating, but there you go. There's Cliff, the 17-year-old born on the island of Portland on the south coast of England. Garda Thomason, we knew he was going to get a lot of game time, and he did get 29 starts. I intentionally left a central defensive spot open for Garda Thomason to play in. Even though he's too old to be locked in, he's not too old to play for us. So Garda Thomason getting his game time, doing very, very well, as you would probably expect to see. Willem Broekman hasn't had any game time, but Youssef Hamdi has had 4 matches, 4 starts as well. Hamdi could be going into the first team next season. He genuinely could be going into the first team next season. He's got that plus. He's one of those players that I've kind of earmarked as he could be good. So maybe we need to look at Youssef Hamdi next season. We've also got, actually, Gerald Hendricks, who spent a season out on loan at Den Bosch as a striker, scoring 1 goal. Not the best return. And Povelsen spent another season out on loan. He's gone to Groningen, not really playing much football at all. So what was the point of that loan? So just very quickly, looking at the 5 players that we've got currently locked in, Coleridge will be removed from that starting 11, so we could still play those 4, but as we know, Albertus is also probably not going to be available, which means it's Kufor, Cantarini and Ono de Jong left at the club, and we haven't really got a massive amount of players who can kind of come in and fill those gaps. If we jump to the B team, I don't think we've got anyone in there. No, those are actual normal footballers who've not come through youth intakes. We've got a few people, so Stur and Mulder, maybe we should be pushing up. I mean, possibly De Keyser needs to get pushed up. Simon van Wijk should be pushed up. So basically, we might be looking to do this. Anyone who's got kind of 4-star potential or above gets pushed into the first team and hopes for the best. Season 8, we were just 1 game away from qualifying for Europe with our FC Volendam side in this Youth Development Challenge, which means Season 9, surely, we should be able to do that. The problem we have is we don't really do a lot of transfer business, and when we do, it's not particularly very good, and we have to rely on our youth players. And not getting too bogged down into the details right now, but because this is Season 9, we have to lock in 5 players into our starting 11. As you can see, we've only got 3 currently. Last season we had 5. It means 1 player has got too old now, which is Davor Koleritz, but also another player has been sold. Albertus has moved over to Manchester City. He's gone to the blue side of Manchester. He has gone there for £4.5 million. He played 2 full seasons for us in that defensive midfield role, and he has moved on. The worrying thing about this is he wasn't one of the good potentially high potential players. He's only got a star next to his name. The plus stars, the ones that I've gone, they're going to be really good. Albertus moving to Man City has meant we've lost one of our average players. We've already lost all the good ones. We're now losing the average ones. We are starting to properly scrape the bottom of the barrel for our 5 players that we need to lock in. Albertus isn't the only player to leave over the summer. We have also lost Amir Lechkar, could be his name. He's gone to Roda JC, but I don't think we are necessarily going to miss him too much. He is 18, will be 19 in January. Don't think he ever played for us. No, he didn't. So like I said, because this is Season 9, we do need to lock in 2 more players into the squad. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really too convinced on old Samuel Kufor here right now. The 19 years of age Ghanaian left-back. He doesn't look great, does he? He doesn't look great. He's already played, as I say, 1 full season. He's played 6 matches so far last season after getting locked in. Cantarini, again, he's not amazing. He did all right last year, 12 goals, 4 assists. And then Ono de Jong leading the line. We know Ono de Jong is good. So that one's not too much of a concern. But we now need to find 4 players, including Cantanari and Kufor potentially, who can fill in those gaps that we are missing. We're going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window. We're going to show you the 5 players that are going to be locked in for Season 9. And I really hope that Al Riyad don't sign Ono de Jong as well. That is something that could definitely happen, which means we might be in an even worse situation than we're in right now. The good news is Ono de Jong has not left the club. The bad news is we have lost a few more players. I don't think anyone's actually good, though. Ryan Borsma is not the good defender. We have also lost This man, Dennis DeLoon, he's gone to NEC. Youssef Hamdi's gone out on loan to Eindhoven. This one wasn't ideal because I was planning on playing him. As you can see, he did play 4 matches and then they loaned him out, which, didn't really want him to do that. And obviously, joining the club, we don't really care too much about those people. So who are the 5 people that we are locking in for this season? Going by the star ratings, it is not very good at all, is it? We have got Samuel Kufor keeping his place as that left back, and the arrows are on their way down. I mean, he's got the potential, but he's nowhere near it at the moment. He's wanted on loan by the FC Twente and Heracles Academy, which is not a good sign. In defensive midfield, we have Robert Jesse, a 19-year-old Dutch central midfielder or defensive midfielder. I think he's okay. He is no better or no worse than Albertus, who we've lost. So this one, I think, is okay. Should be, maybe, hopefully. Arguably, he could have played the last couple of seasons. I don't think he was out on loan anywhere. No, he wasn't. He just kind of didn't make it onto my radar in time. Then we've got Cantarini on that left-hand side, who's now fully qualified, and his rating's actually gone up quite considerably. So I'm happy with Cantarini. I don't know what's happened in the last 2-3 months since the last little clip we've had, but Cantarini has suddenly turned into a 2.5-star winger. On the right-hand side, we have Cliff Calcutt, the 17-year-old Englishman who is wanted by PSV on a permanent deal, which is interesting. Much like Cantarini, he's all right, but I don't think he's there yet. He could get there. He might get there. We're putting a lot of faith in Calcutt, and luckily for us, obviously, Onur de Jong will keep his place in the starting 11, leading the line. That is our 5 players for the season, and I'll be honest with you, I am not confident. Trying to think of the best way of showing this, but if we sort by ability and then kind of flag the people, can we filter? I don't think we can filter by ages and stuff, but if we flag players who are eligible, sorted by current ability, we're not in a good way, are we? We're all the way down here. Cantarini is the second one. We've got Hamdi, we've got Calcutt. Deniz is too old. Povelson's too old. We've got this man. Like these are kind of the players that are good enough and eligible according to the rules that we have set. Our second best player is 2.5 star. Our third best player is 2 star. And our 4th best player, technically, still at the club, is 1.5 star. We are really, really, really struggling with players who are eligible to play for the first team. In the B team, I don't think we've got anybody there. In the under-19s, we obviously do have some players. When it comes to players who should be able to play and who could be good, it's those 3, really. Let's be honest, anyone below that is 1.5 stars, so it makes no difference. I did toy with the idea of the Canadian goalkeeper Lewis Richards being our number 1 for the season. Maybe season 10, Lewis Richards becomes our number 1 goalkeeper for the final year. It might need to happen. And to double down on the fact that I'm not particularly confident at this season, this is how it has started. 4 games in. We have got 3 points, or 4 points technically. We did manage to beat Sparta Rotterdam. We then drew with, I want to say it was PSV. I think it was somebody good. It was Willem II. We drew twice. Drew twice. We drew with Willem II. And then we lost against NAC Breda and Feyenoord. We are certainly in a relegation scrap. We are predicted to finish 10th. I don't think we're finishing 10th. Particularly when you look here, actually, at our projected lineup, Cantarini and Onur de Jong make it, and nobody else. It's a worry. It's a real, real worry. I would have loved to have Hamdi, because Hamdi would have been in there. Not necessarily there, but he would have been playing, possibly alongside, what's his name, the other defensive midfielder we've got in, and then maybe we could have dropped Kufor and actually had a pretty strong defence. Because the problem with playing players like Kufor as well, it means, I mean, you've probably worked this one out already, but it means if we sort by this, what's that man's name? Where are you? It's you. You should be our left back because you're really good at football, but you're not going to be our left back because Kufor's locked in. It's a fun challenge, right? A youth development challenge. Or am I just a psychopath? Could be both. Oh, wait, and one very obvious thing that I completely forgot to mention. We've changed our formation as well. I've decided, because of basically all of the things that are going on, I'm going to try a new formation, which could be also not a good idea, if I'm perfectly honest. But we're changing our formation, so this is what we're going to go with. It is a downloaded formation. It is the GOIR Gambit formation, is what we're going to be playing for this season, I believe. So, yeah, we're going to go give this a go, see how well things can pan out. I think we're going to struggle. I'll say it again, I'll say it 1,000 times. I think we're going to struggle. So yeah, this season I think is not going to be a particularly fun one. We are going to jump forward to the youth intake day. see how well things have gone. And on the 10th of April, we are sort of struggling. We're doing okay. We're not doing amazing. We've got 10 wins to our name. We've got 7 draws, 12 defeats, though. It's quite a lot of defeats. And we have lost against some of the teams below us in the table as well. So Heerenveen, we've lost twice against Heerenveen by the looks of it. It could be worse. It could be a lot better. And something that I want to point out is Honor de Jong is kind of a bit of the hero/villain of this story of how our season is going. He's got 9 goals, which sounds like quite a lot. The problem is he's not scored them particularly often. He's gone long matches or long amounts of time without scoring any goals. So you can see here, he didn't score any goals for, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But he scored 2 goals before then against NEC. Another big batch where he's not scored a goal in like 7 matches. Scored 1 there. 3 matches, didn't score in that. Admittedly, one of them is the England under-21s game. They also lost a match 8-2 and then beat San Marino 8-0. But he's not scoring anywhere near as many goals as I'd like. And then he has this flurry. So a goal against Excelsior, 2 against Wall, 1 against PSV. Unfortunately, we lose that one. So he scored 4 goals there in a nice little time period where we won 2 of the 3 matches. He is just very kind of up and down. He's very up and down. His maximum rating is a 9.2. Can we actually change it? So it was just FC Volendam. So his max rank is 8.5. His minimum is a 5.9. He's only scored 6 goals in all competitions, apparently, which I don't believe is true. But yeah, he's only got 6 goals, and like I said, they're kind of clustered. He's part of the problem. If he starts scoring some more goals, we should be okay. Problem is, if he stops scoring goals, we will be dragged into this relegation scrap. Another thing that's happened, you'll see there's only 4 people now locked into the squad, and that's because Cantarini has moved on to Manchester City for £6.25 million, which I can only assume is a minimum fee release. It might not be, actually. It might actually be like a regular deal with some clauses in there. But yeah, Cantarini has moved on, which means we do obviously need to replace him in this starting lineup. And I feel like we are going to go for this one. We're going to go for Tafiki as our right back, potentially. I'm not quite sure. I think we'll go for Tafiki. The other option, obviously, is our youth intake that has literally just come in. We have got 5 elite prospects, which we'll have a look at every single one of those. We've also got a couple of top prospects, 4 good ones, and 5 decent ones, which once you get down this level, decent is a generous term. Potential ability of 1.5 star is not decent, if you ask me. So let's take a look then at the 5 elite prospects. We will start at the bottom here with Leslie Costa, who is a Swedish left back. Okay, I need to say right back. He's left and right back. He's okay. He's nothing too special. 5-star potential ability. Apparently, I'm not really seeing it. Moving up to the next player is Mamadou Kuruma, who is a Dutch central defender, big 6-foot lad. Looks pretty good, actually. I do quite like the look of Kuruma. The 17 determination is a lovely standout number there for me, technically as well. Doesn't look too bad. Kuruma's probably one to keep an eye on, I think. Next up, we've got ourselves a striker called Wara Schumacher. Might be his name. I wanted to call him Warren and then realised there's no N. He is a Belgian striker, 15 years old, 1.5 star current ability, 5-star potential. A very brave young man with 19 bravery. Physically looks all right, doesn't he? The balance and strength and things like that is all pretty good. Technically, not amazing, but he does have the 12 finishing, 11 technique. So give him a few years to develop. He might get good. And the 2 that I'm hoping to get good, first of all, we have Jume, I'm going to call him Jume Habing, who is a attacking midfielder, 16 years old, attacking midfielder, left winger, depending on where we fancy playing. So Jume, I do quite like the look of him. Mentally, he's got some good numbers, technically and physically. Not amazing, but obviously still only a little baby boy at 16 years of age. So he's one that I put a lovely little plus next to, because I think he is probably one of the better ones. And somebody who I think is probably going to be breaking into the squad, maybe this season, probably next season, most likely, is Bjorn van der Linden, the Dutch defensive midfielder is what he is. 1.5 star current ability, 4.5 star potential, so not the most potential, but I think he is the best of these players right now. Technically, looks pretty good. I've highlighted, obviously, defensive midfield, because that's where we're likely to play him, but we could play him as a central midfielder. First touch, passing technique, all look reasonable for his age. Mentally, doesn't look awful, got some okay numbers, determination, work rate, teamwork of 16 as well is obviously pretty good. Physically, not much to write home about, but he's a central midfielder. I don't really care if he's particularly fast or anything like that. Natural fitness is obviously pretty good, means he can run for days. So then that is our youth intake for Season 9. Obviously, we've only got one more season to go of this Youth Development Challenge, which means one more youth intake. I'm not massively impressed, but I think Bjorn van der Linden probably is the standout player from this intake. And like I said, I think he might be getting locked in maybe season 10. Just for a laugh, to be honest. We probably don't need to lock him in. We've probably got better options. But Bjorn van der Linden is the standout player. We are now going to jump forward to the end of the season, see how well we can do. Will we keep our job? Will we stay in the league? Will we actually turn around and push for Europe? And will Arnaud de Jong start scoring a bit more goals more consistently? Well, the season is complete and we have finished in 12th place. So we are down the wrong end of the table, far enough away from a relegation scrap that I think we should be fine keeping our job and everything, but also a long, long way away from being anywhere near kind of challenging for Europe, which is not great. I have just seen as well, Ajax have finished 10th. They have absolutely fallen just miles off of where they were, haven't they? But yeah, we finished 12th. It's not great. 12 wins, 14 defeats is obviously a big number of defeats, which is not ideal. So maybe for season 10, we need to try and work that one out. I mean, goals scored 42. We are one of the worst performing teams in the league when it comes to goals. But then again, Fortuna Sittard finished in 7th and they scored 1 goal less than us and conceded 1 goal less. So, I mean, they turned a lot of those draws into wins. We draw a lot. Then again, looking at the league, we don't draw a massive amount. We're actually kind of mid-table when it comes to draws. The other thing to mention is the KNVB Beker competition that we will never win because we normally get knocked out really early on. So we beat Valwijk in the first round. In the second round, what happened? We lost to Groningen. There you go. It doesn't go very far in this competition. One thing I do need to say, and I can't believe it's taken me 9 seasons to get to this point, we've cheated. Accidentally cheated. It's not for a lot of matches, but I didn't lock in. I said it was Tafiki I was going to lock in. I just forgot. I just forgot to do it. I didn't do it. So we didn't play Tafiki. So we only played 4 players for the final few matches of the season. Like I said, it's not a lot. I think it's like a month or two's worth of matches. So it's maybe 7 or 8 games that we didn't lock in Tafiki. We probably should have done. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. We do still obviously have 4 players that did remain locked in. If we go by selection information, sort by picked, let's take a look then. So, Sami Kuffour, we will begin with then 33 matches in the League 2 in the Cup, a 6.63 rating, just the 2 assists. He's not good. I feel like he is part of the problem. Like, I don't think we're a bad side. I genuinely don't think we're a bad side. But we've just got some players that, because of the rules I've set, we have to play them. And they're not necessarily good enough. Robert Yesse, again, another example of this. The defensive midfielder, 30 league games, a 6.7 rating. Not, again, I mean, he's doing a job. He's not doing anything offensive. I'm not expecting goals or assists from him. A 6.7 is bang average, which is, I guess, fine. Cliff Calcutt, on the other hand, I think it has been somewhat of a disappointment. He's done okay. He has certainly done okay. But his average rating of a 6.5 over the course of the season is considerably lower where you would want it to be. 4 goals, 6 assists in all competitions, 5 of them coming in the league. He is getting better. He is only 18 years of age. I would have liked a little bit more. And the villain of the piece, I don't know whether he's a villain or not. We will double check in a minute on the form, is Arnaud de Jong, now 20 years of age, so we can play him for the final season. Has got 13 league goals, 14 in all competitions, 5 assists as well. He has underperformed his XG by not a lot, 0.7, so maybe a goal. Average rating of a 6.84, so okay. I say okay, slightly better than average. I think a 6.7 is probably average, but he's a little bit more than that, which is obviously good to see. Then form-wise then, how has he done? So just for Volendam. So again, I mean, he got better. He did get better, but he was scoring 2 goals. So 2 against Willem II, and then got subbed off apparently with 3 minutes to play. 2 goals against Wal, goals either side, but then he's still having big old bouts of not scoring. What was that? That was January, so no goals between the 15th of January all the way through to the 5th of March. So literally didn't score a goal for a month and a half. And then obviously before that, you can see he scored twice against NEC and then didn't score a goal for another half a month as well. I know there's like a winter break that took place between those 2 matches. But, I mean, consistency is a bit of a problem for Ono. If Ono was more consistent, he'd be pretty good. I think he was more consistent last season when you think he got 17 goals in 32 games, which is actually more than a goal every other game. And the previous season, it's not awful. Let's be honest, he's not been awful. But consistency's been the problem. I have just seen actually that season 6.58. He was horrendous that year and still got 12. I do want to check what the board are saying. So they want to finish mid-table. It's a C+. The supporters, what are they saying? They're happy enough. They're fairly pleased with Honor de Jong's recent performances. Fair enough. You're probably the only one. Route 1 style football. I'm not convinced we're playing Route 1 style football, but sure, why not? That's the thing that's happening. There is a negative atmosphere surrounding the squad. Where does dynamics live nowadays? It's here. Overview. Can we see what the negative attitude is about? So there are 8 players who are unhappy. Can we see why they're unhappy? You're unhappy because you want to be... It doesn't take much. He wants to leave, wants to start more games. That's fine. Wants to start more games or new challenge. Probably wants to start more games. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these players are annoyed with basically just not getting the game time. I have just seen Honor de Jong's a wonder kid. He's a wonder kid. Fair enough. I mean, how do we find that out? Is it personal? Personal. Is it here? Media description, wonder kid. I'm now intrigued. Like Davor Coleridge, I mean, he's 22. He can't be a wonder kid anymore, surely. But, I mean, he's just a centre-back. The last thing I'm going to do very quickly before we round out this season is take a look at the clauses. Obviously, we have sold quite a lot of people to various clubs of various sizes, and a lot of them have clauses in them. So, yeah, we've got like sell-on clauses here for this man to Lechkart to Roda JC. But the big ones, Cantarini, have we got a big sell-on clause in there? 40% of... It's not even... it is the profit. 40% of the profit. So anything over 6.25 million, we get profit on that. We've got Albertus as well, is another 40%. Old Andy Beekman, we've got 20% of the profit. You can get 800k for that now if we really want. Brossard, who went to Liverpool, we've got 40% of the profit there. Eugenia, we've got 20% of the profit from Eugenia. Lundqvist, another 20%. Rick Van Haren, 40%. We get 2.8 now if we want to. Yannick Fee, we've got 20%. We can also pay off some instalments if we're that way inclined. Anyone else? Does not look like it. So, I mean, I'm confused why we sold 2 different players to Monterrey. Fair enough. So, there's a few clauses that we can get. Obviously, there are lots of percentage sell-ons and things. So, in 5-10 years' time, when some of these players get really, really good... Wait. I've just Christian Lundqvist is at Juve. There was a man who we sold to Juve who is no longer there, I guess. It's Mbinga, right? Have I already kind of covered this? Is that a thing that I've already mentioned? Mbinga, if he has left, he's left a long time ago. Omar Mbinga is at Bologna. Is that a recent thing? 10 million last season. Did I mention that last season? I don't know whether I did. But yeah, so we got a bit of money from that. So that's a thing that happened. Or did we actually? Because it's a loss. We might not have got any money for that. But Omar Mbinga now is playing football in Serie A, regular football in Serie A as well, in the Europa Conference League. So these players, he's 24 now. Like, he's not fully developed, but he's probably not far off what he will actually get to. So we are getting to a point now in this save where our players from season 1 and 2 and so on are actually starting to make a name for themselves. He's on 50 grand a week. We could never pay him that. Anyway, then that's season 9 in the bag. We've got one more season to go, and we will lock in 5 players for season 10, I promise. Hopefully, we can do all right. I'm not expecting to win anything, but we've won absolutely nothing. But we have developed some really good players, I think. We're going to do a little kind of extra bit at the end of next season as well, where we will go forward maybe 5 years into the future to see where some of these players have ended up and see if the whole trying to develop youth players, trying to play them, make them really good helps, or the fact that they've all left and moved to Juve and Man City really early on in their career and have stopped playing by the age of about 19, has that hindered them? So is the final season of our Youth Development Challenge save with FC Volendam. 10 seasons have almost been completed, and I'm just having a look back at how we've done over the years. We are a mid-table side. We've skirted relegation a couple of seasons. We've nearly got into Europe a couple of seasons, and that's about it. Nothing too exciting has really taken place. Apart from obviously some of the youth players that have come through and moved on to other clubs around Europe and the world, because a couple of them seem to have gone to Mexico for some reason. So because it is the final season, obviously, we do need to lock in 5 players for the year. We are probably going to stick with these 5 players currently. Luckily, we do not need to get rid of Honor de Jong, Robert Jesse or Sami Kaffour, although Sami Kaffour I don't think is particularly cut out for it at the moment. Obviously, It is only the 1st of July. Once we hit, I think it's the 2nd of September, that is when I'll make the final decision. So actually, I will double check. You'll be fine. You will still be 20. Robert Yessi will still be 20. And I know Ono de Jong will also still be 20. So we can play these 5 players. Youssef Hamdi was the only player who didn't play for us last season. He was actually out on loan at FC Eindhoven. So hopefully he stays with us for the year, because obviously he's pretty good at football. We do have a little bit of a concern that apparently lots of clubs want to loan Ono de Jong. Okay, I'd rather not. He's also unhappy. He wants to move to a stronger squad, which is completely fair because, we are, like I said earlier, we often skirt around relegation scraps. Something I have been trying to do, by the way, is actually improve like the facilities and stuff like that. We have money, but we don't have a transfer budget. I don't understand. If I go to facilities here, we're not the best. We're genuinely not the best. I keep asking them to improve it, and they're like, nah, we're not going to bother, which is kind of frustrating because the whole point of this is to try and get the best youth academy, youth recruitment, and all that jazz, and then obviously get the best players as well. It's not happening. Right, anyway, let's jump forward then to the end of the transfer window, where we will need to lock in our 5 players for the final season. And hopefully Ono de Jong does not go out on loan to, who's like Atlanta United, Columbus, teams like that. I don't want that to happen. The first thing we need to do then, on the 2nd of September, is address the elephant in the room, that is Youssef Hamdi. He has moved to PSV for £4.4 million. Kind of annoying, because I was literally going to play you this season, and then you've decided that you want to play in the 2nd division again, like you did last year. That is the only transfer that has actually happened in terms of leaving the club. We've got a whole bunch of new people joining the club. I'm going to have a look at this man here because he was the most expensive. He's a left winger. Is he going to get game time? We'll have to wait and see. Because we are locking in a left winger, which means he probably won't get game time, which could be a mistake, but this is what we're going to go for. So, for the final season, I was tempted. I was very, very tempted to put the Canadian goalkeeper in goal. I have decided against it, but we are sticking with Samuel Kuffour as our left back. He's not good, but we don't really have too many other options, so we are sticking with Kuffour, the Ghanaian. We have then got Robert Yessi as that defensive midfielder who was going to be playing alongside Hamdi, but obviously Hamdi has decided he wants to leave and play for somebody else, the absolute traitor, so Yessi is going to get a 2nd season in midfield. Moving forward then, right-hand side is Cliff Calcutt, who obviously had his debut season playing for us last year, got a horrendous 6.5 average rating over the 34 games that he played. He's good. There's definitely something there. Needs a bit more game time, obviously, to develop. On the left-hand side, we have Gert Mulder, which we will come to in a moment. And Ono de Jong is still at the club. He is valued at £30 million, and I really, really hope that is not a minimum fee release. It is not. He's got a £62 million minimum fee release. I imagine he's basically wanted to leave. Yeah, he's requested a transfer, so he's up at £30 million. Nobody's going to pay £30 million for him. There are 13 teams with active interest, but they are all loans by the looks of it, which we are, in theory, not going to do. It could come to January and one of the MLS teams loan him, which is a very distinct possibility, and I hope it doesn't happen. We've got one more player to talk about, and that is Gert Mulder, the 17-year-old left winger / right winger / striker. Isn't good enough. He's just not good enough. However, we're going to have to just go for it and hope for the best. So this gets a little bit harder to see every single season, but we have the players that are available for us who aren't the ones that we have selected. We have Tafiki, who is a right back at 17 years of age. He's all right, but he's kind of like another Samuel Kuffour. That he's okay. He's not amazing right now. Gert Mulder, obviously, we have put into the side. I was tempted with Brugman, but Brugman is a central midfielder, and I kind of wanted a more attacking player rather than a more central player. And also, he's not amazing either. And that's the lot for the first team. Then we move into, I don't think there's anyone in the B team, if I'm not mistaken. And then in the under-19s is where we have a whole bunch of other people, but we sort by ability here. And we have, you are 23 and in the under-19s for some reason. We have Louis Richards, who was the other player that we could have played. We have Massin Albus, who we could have played as well, but obviously he's an attack midfielder. We don't play that in our new formation. Yeah, Louis Richards was the other one, which maybe we could have gone for it. He does also have SIPS caps for Canada now, so fair play to you. Anyway, the season has kicked off and things are going quite well early doors. 6 place in the table. 2 wins so far, beating NAC and Ajax. Ajax down in 16th place, obviously 3 games in. It's a bit too early to read into that, but we've also lost 1 match up against 2nd place PSV. If we look at the predicted table, obviously we finish around sort of 12 anyway, and we are predicted to finish 12th. We don't have anyone in the best 11, which is fine in terms of the squad. It's Ono de Jong, Garda Thomason, and Coleridge, who are still at the club, by the way. They're going to get a lot of game time, which is obviously very good. I do just want to have a look at Garda Thomason. So he's wanted. I think he's out of contract soon. He's not actually. He's got a 4-year deal. I think he's just signed a new one. So Garda Thomason is wanted on loan by Feyenoord, but he's not going anywhere. He's 23. And Davor Coleridge, who also has a 4-year deal, is wanted on loan by Feyenoord, Go Ahead, and NAC as well. The fact that we are keeping hold of Thomason and Coleridge is pretty impressive, right? And we've also still got Jaden Borsma, who has played nearly 100 games for the club, never been locked in. So anyway, like I said, it is the 2nd of September. We are now going to jump forward to the youth intake day, although it doesn't really mean a huge amount for the final season. I want to get European football, and I'd really love to have a decent cup run. I feel like neither of them is going to happen, but we're going to find out. It is the 9th of April, it is youth intake day, and it is currently 6th place Volendam. What has happened? 16 wins, just the 2 draws to our name. Who have we drawn against? PSV and Feyenoord. That's actually pretty good. 10 defeats, which is quite a lot of defeats. I've just seen PSV at top of the table with 1 defeat to their name in 28 games. We've lost against literally everyone. Every single one of those badges is unique, isn't it? But that doesn't really matter. The fact that we're 6th is obviously very good. It does mean we end up going into the European places playoff nonsense thing. So there is a chance that that could happen. We could, actually, when you look at the points, we are 4 points off of 2nd place. We could get Champions League, especially when you consider that I think there's only like 6 more games to play, right? We only play 34 games in a league season. We could get Champions League and we could finish in 2nd. Anyway, it is the last season and we do have ourselves a final youth intake. I'm just going to take a look at a few players, not everybody. We got the 2 big names at the top then. So Peter Hafner, the Austrian central midfielder, 15 years of age. He looked pretty good, although mentally doesn't look pretty good, right? Physically, got some really good numbers. Mentally, actually not bad in places, but really bad in other places. Like that determination, positioning is kind of worrying, right? We also have Martin Rambocus, a 15-year-old Dutch central midfielder who I quite like the look of you. You got 13 finishing and first touch. So maybe you should be pushed up a little bit more further up the field into that attacking midfield position because you're not going to be scoring too many goals from back here. Your passing of 11 as well. It's not awful, obviously. Mentally, those numbers, they're not awful, but they're acceptable for a 15-year-old, right? They should increase over time. We obviously have some lesser quality players. No one really stand out. We will take a look at Kane Holster, who is a right winger. Current ability is 1.5 stars, so probably one of the better looking players, I think. He doesn't look awful, to be honest. Physically looks pretty good. Mentally looks okay. The determination being low, concentration being low, decisions being low. Mentally he looks pretty bad. He's really good at some things, like flair and leadership and teamwork, and really bad at other things, like thinking. The other thing to check out is the KMVB Beaker competition where we've got knocked out in the quarterfinals against Go Ahead. Fair enough. We were never going to win this, were we? So how did we do? Were we even in the first round? We beat HBS 6-1. Lovely victory there. We then beat those guys 4-3, which is not as good. Then in the third round, NAC Breda, a 3-0 away win. That's actually very impressive. And then in the quarterfinal, we lose to Go Ahead Eagles, obviously getting us knocked out of the competition. So we haven't won this, which is kind of to be expected, let's be honest. I will double check, because there's part of me going, maybe did we win it? Have I forgotten? No, but I do love the fact that AZ, PSV, Heerenveen and Camber have all won this competition over the last 10 years. Den Bosch, Zwolle, Excelsior, Feyenoord, Utrecht, Go Ahead, Willem II and Emmen also all getting to the final. If this is what happens in real life, this is quite a fun competition, right? Before we jump to the end of the season, I do want to point out something which I think is having a massive contributing factor to our season. Last year, Ono de Jong was inconsistent at best. This season, he's got 16 league goals, 6 goals as well in the cup. And it looks like his form, I mean, it's still not amazing. He's still somewhat inconsistent. Actually, let's take out anything that isn't Volendam. So a hat-trick against Telstar, it's a lot more consistent. It's still not a perfect consistency. So there's obviously like spells here where he's not scoring. He's also scoring 2 against a bunch of children or amateurs. I mean, he's doing better, right? Particularly recently, I think. We've also had some transfer news. 2 players have left the club. Brahim Tafiki being one of them, which is kind of frustrating because he was almost, and by almost, he was earmarked to be the next player playing in the squad if somebody left. Tafiki obviously has left himself. He has moved over to Heerenveen for £1.1 million, which is not ideal. The other player to leave is Sami Kaffour. He has moved over to Juventus because, of course, he has. That's where everybody seems to go. £7.25 million. There will probably be a sell-on clause in that one as well. And we've also sold Big Penis as well. He's gone to Suriname. It does mean that we do have a new face in the starting 11, and his name is Bjorn van der Linden, playing as a defensive midfielder, because I feel like I say better than that position. He's not. I didn't want to be playing 2 new, like, young central midfielders. The 16-year-old came for a youth intake a couple of seasons ago. You'll notice he's already played 10 matches, and that's because I came back from holiday just after January finished, and I noticed that Kaffour had left, and I thought, you know what, let's just lock somebody in for the second half of the season, and Bjorn van der Linden is that man, which is why he's already got 10 games. He's got a 6.53 rating so far, which is not the best, if I'm honest, but I think there's definitely something here, right? So then let's jump forward to the end of the season, and the big question, will we qualify for Europe? I think there's a slim chance that it could happen. We have only gone and done it. Cliff Calcutt is the man of the hour. A brace against Heerenveen. Ripani as well on the score sheet. Robert Yesse with the assist as well for Ripani. A 3-0 victory in the final of the European Places playoff, which means we have qualified for Europe. Also, it's quite interesting to see that Brahim Tafiki played. He got a 6.4. Good. But that's not the whole story, because actually we were only 4 points away from finishing in second place. We were 3 points away from finishing in third place. Ignoring goal difference, okay? Let's ignore that. But the fact that we actually finished on 60 points is massive. Our final few games of the season were unbelievable. The problem is, so were Ajax's. PSV win literally everything bar 7 matches. It is starting to become a bit of a one-horse race, I think, in the old Eredivisie, which is fine. It's fine. The fact that also we have massively overachieved. We were predicted to finish 11th, and we have finished in 6th place and managed to get into Europe is obviously absolutely amazing. I will now jump to the squad and have a look at the 5 players that we have locked in for the season. So Bjorn van der Linden obviously only locked in for the latter half. He gets a 6.54 average rating over 18 games. Not amazing, let's be honest, but he's on the up. Lots of upward arrows. That's good to see. Robert Yesse next up, the defensive midfielder who is now 21. 35 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists, a 6.73. So actually above average. I want to get above a 6.7 is what I'm after. Cliff Calcutt, the man who shoots us into European football next season. 14 goals, 15 assists, a 7.23 average rating across the entire season, 7.08 in the league. Cliff has gone from having an absolutely garbage season last time around to being a superstar, right? He's gone from, I'm sure he was like 2-star at the start of the season. He's now 3.5 and wanted by Spurs. Cliff, it was lovely to see you. Enjoy London. Gert Mulder on the opposite flank at 17 years of age now. 33 starts, 6 goals, 6 assists. He also got 2 and 2 as well in the Cup. A 6.69 average rating for the league season. He's done good. I'm quite happy with that. Way better than I thought he would do. And then Onno de Jong, who is still at the club. I feel like this is only a matter of time, right? He's wanted by Man City and Al Hilal. He's going to go. 26 league goals. 6 in the Cup, 10 assists as well across all competitions, a 7.12 average rating for the league. He's had his breakout season. He's absolutely had his breakout season, and it does almost certainly mean that at the end of this year or in the summer, he will probably leave and go to Man City, but that is fine. We've got one more thing left to do, and that is to go forward 5 more years. We're going to go forward to 2040, and we're going to take a look at some of these players and see where they have ended up. Obviously, some of these people, like Davor Kolaric, he is currently 23, so he'll be 27, 28 28 years of age when we return. I think some of the older players might be like nearly 30, but they should still be obviously pretty good. And we should still be able to get a kind of a grasp of how their career's gone. Obviously, I'm not going to look at everybody. There's a few hundred players that have come through our youth intakes. Right, we are now 5 more years into the future. It is the 4th of June 2024. Let's go and take a look at some of these players then. I guess the best way of doing this is if we search for that. So we have 20 players that have all been kind of flagged here. And Andrew Beekman is now 30 and playing for Juventus. And I'll be honest, I don't think he was black initially. Am I confused by that? I'm sure he wasn't black. He might have been black. Anyway, he's gone to Juventus. He's doing quite well, obviously. I think he was like one of the first players through. Ono de Jong at Bayern. Fair enough. He's played for 3 clubs, so he moved on to Monterrey. Why are Mexico buying all of my players? And then has recently moved to Bayern at 26. He's only got 21 caps for the Netherlands. That's weird. Christian Lundqvist is still playing over in Italy, but he's moved over to Como, so obviously moved to Juve and then to Como over the last few seasons. At 28 years of age, he's all right, isn't he? Davor Kolarich is still in the Netherlands, playing for Ajax, and is wanted by Al Ahly. Is he good? He's all right, isn't he? He's not terrible. He's moved for £18.5 million. Literally, when I left, they immediately sold him. Fair enough. Garda Thomason has moved over to Italy, signing for Roma. How long has he been there for? 3 seasons. He actually moved to Hoffenheim and then immediately jumped ship the following season over to Roma. So he's played there for 3 years now. He's still good, isn't he? 115 caps for Iceland. He's still only 29. Sami Kufor, I didn't think he would get much better than what he was. I mean, he's currently playing for this team, Südtirol, in Serie B. Okay, I mean, arguably, he did go to Juve, obviously, but he's recently moved over on a free transfer. He's still only 26, so plenty of time that he could move on a bit more. We have got Omar Mbinga at Bologna still, so obviously he moved recently-ish. He's still there, playing obviously a lot of football. No caps for the Netherlands. That seems odd, right? Kenzo Broussard at Borussia Dortmund now, was originally at Chelsea. Looks like he's jumped around a lot. Not Chelsea, sorry, he went to Liverpool. Then Heerenveen on loan. Bolton picked him up on a free. Villa then paid a lot of money for him, and then Dortmund paid even more money for him. Fair enough. I mean, he's good. He's really good. Bjorn van der Linden, the youngest of all of these players, is at Ajax. He's wanted as well by Damak over in Saudi Arabia. £16.25 million. It's a lot of money. He's good. I am glad I played him for... Was it that season? Was that the season that we played him for? And then obviously the 5 subsequent seasons. I've just seen Volendam did get relegated. We will see how Volendam have got on as well. We've got Yannick Fee playing for Utrecht, and he is wanted by Groningen, so he's not really hit the heights that I thought he would. Big money transfer to Juve, did get some game time in Syria, has returned to the Netherlands. Still only 27, so obviously as a goalkeeper could get better. We have Youssef Hamdi, a player that we never really saw, playing for Al Fayr now. He's gone there for £825,000. Nothing too exciting there. Craig Calcutt is also playing over in Saudi Arabia for Al Khalij. He moved to PSG and has recently left on a free transfer. Again, I mean, I'm not really paying too much attention to the attributes. If you want to have a look, obviously you can do so. You can pause the video and all that jazz. We have Kevin Eugenia, who is now French, apparently. I'm sure he wasn't French. Moved to PSG very early on. Moved recently to Reims on a free transfer. Rick Van Haren was the man who went to Chelsea. He is now playing for Leicester, wanted by Ajax, so might be on his way back to the Netherlands. In fact, he did go back to the Netherlands for 1 season and then moved back to England, signing for Leicester. Made a few appearances in the Premier League for Chelsea. Who is next on the list? It is Brahim Tafiki, who is playing for Heerenveen still. So that transfer, he's kind of stuck. He's playing somewhat regularly for them. Not really setting the world on fire is Tafiki. We have still got another 5 players to go. We've got William Broekman, who, he's alright. He's nothing special, is he? Let's be honest. He's gone to Vitesse, went to NEC, then Vitesse on a free transfer. We've also got some players that we literally didn't see too much of at all because he's only 20. It is Martin Rombokus, who came through in the last youth intake, still at Volendam actually, on loan at Valwijk. So he's not really broken into the first team yet. Jumo Habbing as well is another one who has just or recently came through the youth intake, I believe, in game. So £425,000 transfer over to NAC, but in their reserves. We've also got Peter Hafner even, still at Volendam. He's loan listed. He's coming off the bench a few times, and that's pretty much it. Nothing much to say too much about Peter Hafner. And then Gert Mulder as well is the last one we can see here, who is currently on loan at Eindhoven. He is still at Volendam, though. So he played 33 times. Obviously, that was the season we played him. And then didn't really play much after that. Obviously, there are plenty of other players that we could take a look at. I might go and have a quick look in a minute, but I do want to just see how well Volendam have done, and I can see they've just won the cup. They've just won the cup. Kind of, I guess, out of the blue in a way, but they have just won the FA Cup of the Netherlands. How are they doing in the league? I imagine not particularly anything special, are they? Probably a mid-table side by the looks of it. Yeah, 11th place in the table. So not really doing anything too exciting in the league, which is fine. There are two more players that I want to find on this list to see how well they've done. One of them is, he went to Manchester City. It's Albertus, I believe is his name, if we can find wherever he has gone. Here he is. He has moved over to Feyenoord. He's got 5 caps for the Netherlands. He's been knocking about a few different clubs. So City bought him for 5 million, played him once, loaned him to Feyenoord, then Camber, then free transfer to Portsmouth, and recently returned to Feyenoord on a permanent deal. He's quite good, right? The other player that I wanted to take a look at was Robert Yessi, a player who actually did get a bit of game time as well for us. 4 different clubs. So he moved to Almere on a free transfer, actually. So he did play a fair amount of football after we left, but not a huge amount. Actually, there's one more man I want to see. Oh, and he might not be there. He might have left. He might have just completely retired, which is a possibility. I can't even find his name. I'm trying to find old Penis, whatever his name was. I can't find him. I know he left around... Oh, there he is. There's Penis. Penis is still playing for Valvik. He's not, though, is he? He's played 10 times. He is 23. He's played 15 appearances. At 20... Professional football is not your career. You're on nearly 10 grand a week, mate. I tell you what, professional football is your career. Just don't do it too often, okay? So that is going to do it then for our Youth Development Challenge with FC Volendam. I think we have done pretty good. Obviously, from a club perspective, we didn't really do a huge amount of sort of winning trophies and stuff like that. But from a general youth development perspective, we did produce some really, really good footballers. I think because we were in the Netherlands, some players maybe should have got international caps, but not necessarily got them because the Netherlands is a little bit strange. But I'm happy with how things have gone. I will be doing a few more of these, I think, for FM26. I've already started working on the next one, and we're heading over to England, but we're not heading to a Premier League side. In fact, I think we're heading to a League 2 side, maybe League 1.